5-8 won him his first leg of the contest. And the 120 just about keeps him in it. Double 9 for the 138. He's sitting with another big one.
Scott Taylor.
7, Coulson looking at the bullseye for a 161. Look at that smirk on Archie Self's face. He knew it was going.
Now for the double, just edging his way across the hockey to find a way through, and he's done it perfectly.
Flag, Henry
Beautiful.
The bullseye for 161. And that is why you should never write that man off.
We keep on rolling in Champions Week of Series 14. It's time to get going in Group B. Very good evening to you. Welcome back to the Live Lounge here in Portsmouth for the opening session of Group B in Champions Week. Plenty still to play for. 3 qualify from 5. Matthew Edgar is back alongside us here for this evening, and it's been a fantastic week so far, and this group has a lot of potential.
It really has been a great week so far. You know, Group A, I described that as tight. Group C this afternoon, close. It's going to be the same again this evening, I imagine. When we look at the players, the lineup we've got, I can't really separate them too much on ability. It's all going to come down to tonight and tomorrow, and I think it's going to go to the wire. Tight,
Close, down to the wire. You get the picture. Now, before we look ahead, as always, let's just briefly look back, Matt. At Group C this afternoon, Archie Self threatening to run away with things, but was pegged back by Jack Aldridge.
He was so impressive, wasn't he, Archie Self? 16 years old. We've seen this story before at the Super Series, and he's playing darts like that guy did. He could easily have gone on and won all 5 games this afternoon, was 3-0 up in that final game against Jack Aldridge. Just lost his way a little bit towards the end, but you've got to give full credit to Jack Aldridge. It wasn't that Archie Self dropped the performance too much. It's that Jack really did step up the standards. He was great this afternoon, and the biggest compliment I can give him is the fact that it was a good all-round performance. He was brilliant at every aspect of his game.
Halfway through today's session, we were sort of drawing comparisons with Archie to 3 names on that trophy. Jensen Walker, Charlie Manby, Jack Drayton, fellow young darters. But, as we say, pegged back by Jack Aldridge, one of the market leaders on Monday morning, suffering an early blip to the hands of Jack Tweddle, who again was prominent in the outright market, showing his class, though, for the rest of the day.
That's what we want to see, isn't it? We're still learning about Jack Aldridge. We know how quality he is. We know the A game. We know the ceiling he's got. We know the ability. But when do we get it? When does he demonstrate that? Do we see it in moments of adversity? Is he a front runner? We're still kind of seeing how he gets on this sort of stage. The fact he's here in Champions Week is an achievement in itself. And now to be in the position he's in the table is fantastic. And can he qualify? Absolutely he can. They're stacking up behind him. Huntley played well. Jack Tweddle's dangerous as always. But I think we've got a 4-horse race here, and the 2 at the top really did earn it today. They played superb.
And like you say, close, tight, down to the wire. That could be the case. It resumes from 1 p.m. tomorrow. Self and Aldridge on 8 points. Huntley, who, let's not forget, was outside of the field. Really good value for his 6 points. And Jack Tweddle as well. The quality was there, just not enough of it.
For Jack Tweddle, it was the key moments. Now, he's let us know that he hasn't had the best of preparations. We know he was a stand-in, so he only had a couple of weeks to get ready for this. He's an active player. He's always going to be ready. He doesn't have to get ready. He stays ready. But those preparations were slightly disturbed by illness. You could just tell in those key moments, that little bit of match sharpness that you'll get exposed for on Champions Week. He was exposed for them on every single occasion. I think he'll be stronger tomorrow, but he's got to step it up. He's got a 2-point handicap to claw back, and then we'll see him play.
We've been keeping a keen eye on the outright market throughout the week so far, as there's been plenty of market movers. However, Derek Coulson remains favourable, but is slightly on the drift at 5-2. That in part due to 0 from 5 for Coulson. That's the first time that has ever happened. Derek here at the Live Lounge failing to win a game in a day. But the bookmaker's very keen to keep him onside. 5-2 favourite. Coleman, of course, the big market mover, winning Group A. He's already into Champions night. He's 4-1 now. Aldridge, 5-1. Tweddle, a big drifter, into double-figure prices. But, Matt, I know your eye is drawn to Neil Duff at 22-1. The most winning player in this building, 22-1.
joke price, isn't it? You know, Neil Duff's a lot better than that. He's proven, he's tried, he's tested, not just in regards to darts, but in this format, which is important. It's a short format. It's a stamina test. It's an endurance test. Neil Duff has proven himself time and time again that he knows how to win on this stage. He's got the game, he's got the level, he's got that peak performance, which you need. To win the Super Series, you've got to be regularly consistent and being able to peak at that 100 to 100 plus average for 1 or 2 games along the way when it's required. Neil Duff ticks all the boxes. I cannot believe that price.
Always finds a way as well, doesn't he, to get into a Saturday and then reach his peak. His timing, just a master of the craft here in this building. This group has some serious pedigree, and we're not just talking about Triple H, Henry Coates. 19 weekly titles between Neil Duff, Scott Taylor and Derek Coulson. Plus, on top of that, Scott Taylor, the Series 6 champion. This is just ridiculous, Matt. I mean, to have the top 3 winning most players all in the same group of a Champions Week, it's incredible.
I think sometimes when we start a show and I use things like this group's going to be tight, this could go where everyone picks up 8 points, everyone's going to beat each other. Sometimes you can look at it and go, are you spinning a narrative? But sometimes you speak less and just show the facts, and those speak for themselves.
Coulson still the favourite for the week as a whole, so he's going to be favourite to win Group B as well. His price is 7-5. Henry Coates, we need to talk about, Matt. He's 15-8 to win Group B, and he was 5 out of 5 yesterday. He's in great nick.
He really is, and day number 4 now. I'm not worried about any sort of fatigue for him. He's a young man. He's healthy at the moment. He's had a good break since the end of play yesterday till tonight, so I've been impressed with him. I've been impressed with Henry Coates for a long time. He's someone I've sort of kept an eye on as well. After I first bumped into him a few years back, he was sort of introduced with a lot of promise, and everything I've seen from him I've been very, very impressed with. He is a lively contender tonight in what is a very, very hot group.
Henry Coates kicks us off this evening then. He faces Neil Duff 8-1 outside of 5. Again, overlooked. The Duff man earlier on this evening, though, caught up with Henry Deacon.
Here we go then, Neil. Another crack at Champions Week for yourself. Group B start this time. Does that favour you a little bit more?
Yeah, it probably does. Though I would have probably enjoyed the week, but calendar-wise it wasn't going to happen anyway. So I definitely would have preferred B to C. So yeah, got to make the most of it now.
Fresh off the back of the World Masters, and judging by the last couple of days, I suppose you're looking forward to this fresh challenge this week.
The whole time I was at the Masters, I was looking forward to the Champions Week. So it was. Yeah, I've said it before. This place is built for dart players. So there's not much you can blame whenever it doesn't go right. So yeah, I lost the semi-final last Champions Week. I'll be out to try and do better again this week.
This is the one, isn't it, more than anything else that's on the bucket list for yourself, because you've done everything else in this building bar winning Champions Week.
Absolutely. We're just talking to Scott Taylor in the back there, and he says that his Champions Week adds an extra 3 weeks onto his tally. So yeah, it's been one that I've been chasing. You know, it took me a long time to chase a weekly win. Then they started coming like buses. So yeah, get Champions Week. It would be a massive monkey off my back, and then just full steam ahead for another one.
I know how much you like a challenge, and when you add in the fact you've got Derek and Scott, you're the 3 most successful players in terms of winning weekly titles in there. I get the sense a room like that's the room you kind of relish and want to play in.
It's the sort of group that's going to bring the best out in each player. Everyone's going to bring the best out, and yeah, I think it's going to be a very high standard. But at the same time, I'm not scared of any one of them. They know what I can do. I know what they can do. And yeah, let the best players get through.
Wish you all the best. Good luck, Neil.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
Always bullish, always backs himself, and the word with Neil Duff is legacy. This is the one he wants. He's up against the rising star champion Henry Coates, sealing his first weekly regulation win here to book his spot into Champions Week, where he is performing very well indeed. Let's get on with it then. This Group B is going to be class. And to take you through the opening match, it's across to Matthew Edgar. And a very good evening to Henry Deacon.
Thanks, Sam. Evening, everyone. Yes, it's Group B time here at Champions Week 14, and we get underway with the most decorated player in terms of weekly titles here. Neil Duff, 7-time a weekly winner, a double-trouble champion. In fact, both of these players on this stage have an opportunity to do something that only Andreas Harrison has ever done here, and that is to complete the set to win a weekly title, a Specials Week title, and a Champions Week crown. Andrew Culling joins us for the first time in Champions Week 14 on Saturday night. He will officiate his first final. Neil Duff is hoping to be in a first final. It is a sixth opportunity for him to put things right.
100.
7 weekly wins. Didn't play in one of the Champions Weeks that came as a consequence of a win. As for Henry Coates on debut at a Champions
100.
Week. In Group A, ran at an average of 95.12. At times doubling was a bit indifferent at times. He was absolutely spellbinding.
60.
But for Neil Duff, Matthew Edgar, who's with me here in the commentary box, this is the Everest he wants to conquer. This is what's left for him to tick off.
180.
Speaks so fondly, speaks so passionately, doesn't he, about finally getting this one, getting the title, getting his name on the big trophy. It's the first thing he says, isn't it? The second he picks up a weekly title, to the point we've been discussing, haven't we, in the regulation weeks, if Neil Duff's one of those players that considers it a qualifying week.
180.
This is some start from Henry Coates. We've been talking about Neil Duff. We've been talking about the fact is he being overlooked. Maybe
57.
he's just been a bit
Henry
outclassed here.
requires
Certainly in
51.
this opening leg. Back-to-back 180s for Henry Coates. Potentially 11 data to
Shot on the
carry
first
on
leg.
where he ended
Henry
off his
Coates.
Group A campaign. He has got stronger and stronger
Second
and has
leg, Henry
grown in
to
confidence as this
first.
week has gone on.
Well, on Tuesday morning, he kicked the session off against David Evans with an average of
140.
109.31. And maybe, once again, he is going to be getting off at the B of the bang.
140.
Well, I was going to ask you a question tonight, Henry. We're going to reverse it. I was going to say,
99.
am I losing my marbles here? Or is 8-1 on Neil Duff to win this group and 22 for the week? I thought it was a typo when I first saw it.
It feels
83.
preposterous. Now, the only thing I can think of was Neil played, and you were there as well, at the WDF World Masters and subsequent tournaments in Las Vegas last week.
Yes, I was, yeah.
98.
Didn't make much of an indent in that particular tournament. Didn't enjoy his time out there in Vegas. Maybe that's why the bookies have gone there. Because if you base it on previous records, it's absolute poppycock.
28. Henry, you're
I think it's very brave and
164.
risky if you're going to look at that short of a timeline.
It's the only justification I got of it. It's the only justification.
132.
Or maybe they realise that Henry Coates is going to go off like this and the Duff man's going to find himself chasing right at the very
58.
beginning of this group.
Henry,
11
you require
data in leg
32.
1. Doesn't have to be a 15 data in leg 2.
16.
Going to come back for 3 more.
$100. Henry, you require 16. Game showing the
One
second
thing
leg.
we know about
Henry
Neil
Coates.
Duff is he would have been aware of those odds.
Third leg, Neil to
There's
throw
a screen
first.
back in the players'
Come on.
lounge as well, in which Neil Duff would have been aware and would have saw them come up on the screen. And we have known in the past players use it as inspiration.
100.
I'm sure Neil Duff will be one of those that come out here and look to upset the odds and sit up here on Saturday night and tell them they was wrong. But they may not be wrong about this man.
100.
Henry Coates, second favourite to win this group. And from the very first start in this match, he has looked locked in.
140.
Even stood at the back of the stage. You just see him piercing the dartboard with the eyes.
What have you made of
80.
Henry Coates' development over the course of the particularly the last 12 months or so.
Well, I've been a keen watcher of Henry Coates. I was first introduced to him when I did an exhibition in Derby. We had a game against each other. And he played really well in that match. And there was a lot of people telling me about Henry Coates and how good he was. And whenever I come across a player like that, I always like to keep a keen eye on them to see how they develop. And it's been a very fascinating watching the career of Henry Coates and how he's developed and gone on to pick up titles and the opportunities he's now getting at the very
54.
top end of the game. He's got it. He absolutely has it. He will be a professional dart player.
99. Neil, you require 127.
127 to get himself on the board. Should get a dart at the ball from here. Will get a dart at the ball. But he's not going to get, so
102.
Coates have an opportunity
Henry, you require
for the
82.
double break. Double top.
Game shot on the third
No mistake.
leg.
No
Henry
problems
Coates.
whatsoever for Henry Coates. 3-0 to the good, averaging
Fourth leg,
just
Henry
underneath
for the
105.
Game on.
The two breaks a throw as well, isn't it? Neil Duff only managed to have one dart at a double so
140.
far in this game. This has been an exceptional start here for Henry Coates.
As I say, second time in 3 days that
125.
Coates has got out the gate rather quickly and got out the gate with a special performance.
134.
And if it wasn't for those few darts missed at a double in leg 2, we're talking about something in the 110s right now. Neil Duff's averaging 92 and change, and he hasn't been
140.
able to get a look in just the one dart at a double in the contest. And Coates now potentially 6 from the finishing line. But a
40.
slip there has given Neil Duff a bit of an opening. First time in this game he's had something of the like.
Well, he's digging in, isn't he, Neil Duff?
125.
And this is what you get with these experienced campaigners and these seasonal champions, where they might be 3-0 down, but they don't just roll over and have the tummy
57.
tickled. They will
Neil, you
keep
require
battling until the
111.
end. And he may be thinking, playing a young player like Henry Coates here on Champions Week, that there may be a few vulnerabilities or slips, but the slips are coming from Neil Duff. There's a genuine threat here for Henry Coates, because 2 darts at the
79.
treble he's been throwing at
Henry,
the
you
whole time
require
for a match
130.
dart. This could go for a 4-0 victory.
But unable to find when he needed it for the
65.
combination.
Neil, you require 32.
So Duff will get 3 in hand to get something back on the board.
Game shot on the fourth leg.
Gets a double
Neil
60,
Duff.
clicks off the barrel of dart 1, which touched the wire.
Fifth leg, Neil to
Well, that'll be huge
first.
relief, that, for
Game
Neil
on.
Duff. It's a breaker throw. Now throwing to hold and get a second leg on the board, which not only puts him back in this game, but if it was to go wrong,
85.
how important are legs going to be? I'm making the point very early in the night, because with this group of players, Derek Coulson waiting in the wings, Scott Robertson waiting in the wings,
140.
Scotty Taylor waiting in the wings, you'd imagine that at least one of the positions is going to be decided on legs.
83.
Well, riddle me this, Matthew Edgar. Is Neil Duff a targeted man?
Yes. In this
58.
field, in Champions Week, 50-50. Because he's in there with lots of champions. People like Derek Coulson don't care about who they're playing. People like Scott
82.
Taylor don't care about who they're playing. In certain systems, yes. Certainly last week in the World Masters, there's a lot of conversation about where Neil Duff was. In the World
96.
Open, exactly the same as well. So out in the various circuits, yes. In a regulation week, yes. In this week, reputation counts for nothing.
85.
I'm sure you built up a big reputation now. You're a World Open finalist.
139.
Well, on your logic of earlier, I'd be favourite then this week, wouldn't I?
45.
Henry Coates'
Henry, you
favourite to get the
require
job done here.
68.
Treble 12 first. 1 dart at top.
28.
A match dart goes a
Neil, you
begging.
require 121.
These are the sort of shots that change matches.
97. Henry
Well,
requires
Henry Coates
40.
got out the gates quickly, 11 data to win the opening leg, and he's had
Game shot
control
and a match.
of the
Henry
game
Coates.
ever since. The 4-1 victory for the teenager gets his night up and running. A 4-1 success over Neil Duff. In the end, the average just underneath the ton, where for a long time it was way in excess of 105. A 4-1 win for Henry Coates to kick off his Group B campaign. Work for Neil Duff to do. Coming up after the break, Derek Coulson looking to respond from an 0-5 Wednesday when he takes on the Week 12 champ, Scott Robertson.
Impressive start by Henry Coates. He always has started strongly this week. It's no different this evening. 99 average and a 4-1 win over Neil Duff. Now we turn our attention to Derek Coulson, favourite for the week. But it's going to be very interesting to see how he reacts, how he responds to that day from hell here yesterday. 0 wins when Group A was on a plate for him. He faces Scott Robertson here, who tasted success in this building just last Saturday night, defeating Alex Williams to seal his first weekly win here. The England Open champion. DC, speaking to him earlier on, has rested. He is refreshed, in jovial spirits, as he always is, and he's ready to get things going in Group B. Yes, we often think about Derek Coulson winning Group A more often than not. That is what he does. But he isn't any stranger to a Group B, and more often than not does find a way as well.
He is, but I just wonder whether for the first time in a very, very long time, whether there's just a bit of vulnerability about Derek Coulson, and maybe the 0-5 day yesterday has just unmasked a little cloak of invincibility about DC, and maybe other players in this group, the likes of the likes of your Scott Taylors, we're looking to think this may not be the same Derek Coulson who just rolls over all comers when he comes here to the live lounge report. It'll be interesting to see 45. How he approaches tonight, Derek.
Yeah, we are now in the process of finding out.
134.
Scott Robertson is having a tremendous year. There is no two ways about it. Alongside that England Open win, he won the Danish Masters, winning the Six Nations as well with Team Scotland.
100.
Much like Derek Coulson, Robertson is aging like a fine wine and is getting better and better.
Well, I spoke to Scott earlier on this evening, and I asked him,
what's
kind of been the thing that's clicked for you this year? What's transcended you into the player that you're becoming? And he said, more than anything, I've got the freedom to play. The kids are a bit older.
96. Scott, you require 90.
And so he's got that freedom to go and play in tournaments, and there's not that pressure on his shoulders anymore. He just goes out there, enjoys it, and that freedom's turned him into the player that he's becoming. And
42.
Who knows? He might be another version of a Derek Coulson where, as time goes on, maybe we see better and better stuff from him. May well see him at the Lakeside later on this year, potentially. If he does, he's going to be a live wire.
78.
He's looking at 48 here to
48.
take out the opening leg, and he has got the luxury of time.
Yeah, these two stories have parallels.
Game shot on the first
Robertson
leg.
that draws first
Scott
blood
Robertson.
in 14.
Second leg, Derek to throw first.
Impressive
Gemma.
start. Already Coulson is
45.
coughing some wicked deflections into the 5.
And this is not the type of group where you want to start slowly.
100.
Not the type of week where you want to start slowly.
Because I get the sense if Derek loses this game and he doesn't put in the type of performance we know he's capable of, you'll see the likes of Duff, Taylor, their ears prick up. Because as much as they look at themselves, they will see what other people are doing as well.
$140.
Now Coulson starts to find the treble 20.
180.
But it is Robertson that has got off to an absolute flyer here.
100.
Finish left after 9, but Coulson should leave it handy if he returns.
56. Scott, you require 161.
It's only Shanghai for Coulson. All about the setup and applying that pressure for Robertson now.
137.
Oh, and he does so.
Derek, you require 120.
Simply put, has to go. The truth be told, it's just not
100.
looked likely so far for DC.
Scott, you require 24.
Uncharacteristically, this double 12 is a 2-zip.
It's amazing how moments at nondescript times that may
James on
seem
the second
minuscule
leg.
at the
Scott
time
Robertson.
could end up meaning so much.
Third leg,
Robertson
Scott
takes
to
a 2-0
throw
lead,
first.
but you have to cast your mind back to yesterday morning
Game on.
where Coulson faced Coates. DC was waiting on a finish to see out a 4-3 win. Henry Coates takes out the 160. I would argue
77.
if Henry Coates doesn't take out that 160 against Derek, Coulson goes on to win Group A. But here we are.
And the question is, what's happened since?
100.
It's quite hard to quantify what has happened and how it's happened. Because you don't associate the word capitulation, which, in my opinion, is what yesterday was, with Derek Coulson.
135.
Well, Robertson is ticking over very nicely indeed. Back-to-back 14 darters.
96.
He was very nervy for Scott on Saturday night. Openly admitted he was very nervous. Had every right to be.
59.
No sign of those nerves here this evening.
Well, it was a feeling of he couldn't play any worse than win. But sometimes then you put yourself in those situations when you
98.
win way below your best. Next time you come out there, you've got a bit of a point to prove. He's only had a few days to put it right. Was working Monday to Wednesday before then travelling down this morning. That was the plan anyway after Saturday night. Basically, it's the same prep as last
140.
week because he came through Group B, won on the Saturday, and he's hoping that it's going to be a winning formula again. Takes this out in 2. It'll be the third consecutive 14 darter he's hit.
125. Scott, you require 90.
Coulson himself is averaging mid-90s. And yet, Scott Robertson goes
75.
inside, was almost 3 to the good.
Derek, you
This is a
require
huge
82.
opportunity for Coulson, which he simply has to take. 17. Tops. Has to go. Does
Game's on
go.
the third leg.
Right slap bang
Derek
in the middle of the target.
Well, one thing we have learned, whether his
Fourth leg,
form is
Derek
good
to
or
throw
indifferent, you
first.
don't give
Game
Derek
on.
Coulson a poke at a double. First opportunity at the outer ring in this game, duly dispatched.
$140.
That's the quality he possesses. I will quote Ryan Searle after Heavy Metal defeated Coulson on the Pro Tour. He said to Derek, "How have you not got a tour
57.
card?" He probably will have one next year.
However, if he doesn't walk away from here with a Champions League title,
100.
he will probably say how. Because he's put himself in so many good positions, a couple of semi-finals in the past. But if he doesn't win this, he would be the greatest player to
100.
play here without winning a Champions League title.
The last time Derek was in a Group B, the only player to defeat him in the group was Scott Robertson.
180.
But one thing you know about great players is even when they're not at their 100% best, if you don't take
100.
opportunities, they can find a way
81.
back in the match. And Coulson's just beginning to go through the gears. Potential 11 darter here if he finds double 12. And
Game
all
shot
of
on
a
the fourth
sudden,
leg.
we're back on
Derek
level
Coulson.
terms. At 2-0 down, he looked down and out.
Fifth leg,
But
Scott
back-to-back
throw
legs of
first.
15
Game
and
on.
11 has seen this game all of a sudden back level.
Well, good sportsmanship shown by Robertson.
91.
These two did spark up a friendship the last time they were here with one another. It was a week where Group A was won by Jeffrey Deswan. But of course, Coulson ended up winning the week
93.
anyway. Nod of approval.
There you see the
58.
averages. And I tell you what, the standard so far tonight has been nothing short of exemplary. I mean, the blue touch
100.
paper was lit straight away, wasn't it? That 11-dart leg of Henry Coates to get things started against Neil Duff. It's the type of group where you felt as if people really had to impose themselves right from the get-go, and we're seeing that in the opening couple of
60.
matches here.
They know full well, as do we, things can change. Things can happen very, very quickly in a Group B. Reel off 2 or 3 wins on the spin
98.
and you're almost there. 2 or 3 defeats and you have got it all to do.
And I'm
96.
unconvinced as to whether it's going to be a high scoring points total in Group B or whether it's going to be one of those groups where everybody cancels each other out.
$140.
All I know is Scott Robertson now is bang under it. Coulson's overturned the throw. 70 left after 12 to turn a 2-0 deficit into a 3-2 lead, and then he'd have the darts in the next to get it wrapped up. At 2-0 down, we were calling it a Derek Coulson crisis. If he takes this out, it's crisis averted.
It's good though from Robertson. And Derek is only going to have the one dart to break the Robertson throw again.
38.
This time he needed more than that singular dart.
Scott, you require 56.
Has he weathered the storm? Double 18 to lead 3-2.
Game shot on the
Double
fifth leg.
18 is
Scott
found
Robertson.
to lead 3-2.
Sixth leg, Derek to
And
throw
just
first.
when it looked
Come on.
like Derek Coulson was just beginning to turn the tungsten tide in this contest, Scott Robertson has
100.
restored order and finds himself one away. Knows what it's like to dominate a Group B. Won 7 of his 8 matches
100.
last week in that group. The only player he did lose to, he did avenge that defeat on the Saturday night, winning 4-2.
140.
Although, to be fair, it was an easy game. His opponent missed about 125 darts at a double in that match. Jared Cole, who literally can't finish his dinner.
Up until that point, he
96.
really was cooking it up.
Wasn't quite cooking on gas, though, was he?
And not in the end. That was very much Scott Robertson.
180.
Could potentially ping another 11 dart leg here to send us to a last leg shootout, which this match probably does deserve. These two are real quality
98.
operators.
Derek, you require 81.
Robertson at the top of his game against the tournament favourite, who is eyeing double 12, and it
Game
is
shot on the sixth
another
leg.
11
Derek
dart
Coulson.
leg.
7th and final leg,
The
Scott.
standard
to
in
throw
this game
first.
at times
Come
has
on.
been nothing short of ridiculous. As you could see, Robertson kicking off with back-to-back 14s, Coulson's last 2 legs both being 1 and 11. But what is going to give in this last leg?
100.
That's the minimum requirement, really, to kick off a last leg decider on throw with a ton. The problem for Scott Robertson is
140.
he's dealing with someone of the stature of Derek Coulson. Who, after 2 legs, many would be threatening to have written off.
60.
However, right that man off at your pal. Oh, that's the same look as earlier.
Well, there is a reason why the bookmakers in their outright betting
140.
want to keep this man on side. Arguably, anyone else probably would have lost that favourites tag by now.
I'll go back to it again. Do you remember when Coulson was 2-0 down? We were saying that there might be a crisis ahead. He's averaging 107.72 right now.
120.
Point not touching despite the protestations, the cheeky protestations.
If it doesn't penetrate, it doesn't count.
105.
A lesson in life. Nevertheless, Coulson is going to return, but how sweet can Robertson leave things here?
105.
He's going to match.
Require
The
116.
problem is, Coulson is already there, having thrown 3 darts fewer. And he's in the treble. And the single. But
76.
not the double. Bending that top wire down, and Robertson is going to have a shot
116.
at winning this match.
Well, he's shown you the way, Scott. But he's got to try and find a way just above. Does so, double 18 to steal it from under the grasp of Derek Coulson. Just on the inside, Derek Coulson gets a
Derek,
reprieve.
you require 40.
He'd tell you himself, tops is not his favourite double. So it's over to double 10, and he loves double 10. And what a match that was. You have to credit the pair of them. Scott Robertson was absolutely fantastic, and yet he has been defeated by Derek Coulson, who was trailing 2-0. He has won 4-3 with an average of 105.5. Scott Taylor, the former series champion, is up after the break to face Neil Duff. Well, this Group B here in Champions Week promised so much, and despite only being 2 matches in, it is delivering. Henry Coates 4-1 win over Neil Duff with a 99 average. Derek Coulson before the break 4-3 win over the fantastic Scott Robertson, who missed a match start for a 1-1-6 out to do so. But Coulson getting the win there with an average of over 105.5. Now we welcome the final player of this Champions Week, Scott Taylor, former series champion, to face Neil Duff, looking to immediately bounce back. He's here again, of course, next week for the 5th instalment of Double Trouble. Interested to see now how Scott Taylor performs, as when he won back in week 11, only a couple of weeks ago, of course. There's no two ways about it. He was seriously below par in the early stages of the week. Went into Group B, finished runner-up, and then
First leg,
decisively
Scott,
beat Ron
run
Muhlenkamp
first.
by
Game
4
on.
legs to 2 in that final. So 2 big hitters off to a big start.
140.
It's an interesting case, Scott Taylor, because we've looked at various different players and stories and journeys. Luke Littler winning here and going on to do exactly what he's
60.
done, the world #1. The likes of Jensen Walker going on to play very well at Lakeside. Marvin van Velzen going on to pick up his PDC tour card. There's been a
96.
lot of stories of players that have won the Super Series and then gone and found some success. But there's a couple of cases of players who's won the Super Series and it feels like it's their
60.
crowning moment in the fact that they haven't really followed it up with the same level of consistency. And the 2 players that spring to mind the most,
95.
Scott Taylor and Jim McEwen. We've never seen Jim McEwen quite hit that level of performance he was before winning the title. And as you said now, when Scott Taylor won his week, it wasn't the Scott Taylor we got in Series
Scott,
6. Because when Scott Taylor picked up
170.
the series title in Series 6, you knew from his qualifying week to the point he picked up the title,
96.
he was the champion that week. It was back in the days of a lot of interaction in regards to the Super Series across various social media platforms, and all week, all you ever
45.
saw on those
Scott, you
interactions
require
was Scott Taylor's going to
74.
win, Scott Taylor's, and we had that for about 12 days.
Because it goes to show on his day, he is a match
Games
for
on the
anyone.
first leg.
And he's
Scott
not messing
Taylor.
around here. Already a leg to the
Second leg,
good.
Neil to Farofa.
And as myself and
Game
Henry
on.
mentioned in the previous match, things can happen very quickly in a Group B. If you don't start firing sooner rather than later, it can really get away from you. So it's good to see Neil Duff piling the maximum.
180.
Oh yeah, he can set the alarm bells off very quickly because Neil Duff, although this is only game number 3, this is his second game of the campaign.
84.
If he isn't to pick up the points here, he's going to sit back there and watch a few more games where players have got chances to come up and get points while he dwells at the bottom end of the table.
80.
The trick to this, though, is not to play this as a table and not to track the fixtures. Give yourself a goal of points
100.
and go for that. Don't try playing it out. Don't look at the table. If you say 10 points, if you don't get 10 points, then start looking at the table.
95.
But while ever you've still got 5 fixtures left, you shouldn't even be worried about what's going on in regards to the table.
Yeah, you're right with 10 points. That will
85.
get you into a
Neil, you require
Saturday.
146.
Most of the time, 8 points well, but interestingly, back in Series 11, Derek
100.
Coulson, who went into Group B, got to 8 points and lost out on leg difference to that 3rd spot to Adam Gavlas, who again has since gone on and is now on the Pro Tour. So 10 is the magic number
65.
for Group B
Neil,
to
you
avoid
require
any
46.
dramas. Duff tops.
26. Scott, you require
That
167.
over adjustment gives Taylor a shot at the 167. Oh, it's the bullseye,
142.
but it was green,
Neil, you
and
require
not
20.
red. And Duff has been given an almighty fright there,
Game show on the second leg. Neil
but
Duff.
he is not frightened.
Third leg, Scott to
Be a bit of
Farofa.
relief that were
Game
in the
on.
end there for Neil Duff. But my assessment of what I think is going to be
60.
happening tonight. What's going to be the key? Where games are going to be won and lost? Our shots exactly like that for Neil Duff. 46, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. Those little 2-dart
100.
combinations, potentially 3. They are going to be the thing that separates the players.
67. 100.
You sort of feel this part of the game, most of the players are just going to cancel each other out. Even Derek Coulson in the last game, who managed to find an average of 105, didn't have it clear sailing, was still getting cancelled out in the scoring phase.
180.
Yeah, it really was a cracking game. Just goes to show.
100.
There is an array of talent of all generations on that stage here this evening, and indeed the remainder of the week.
98.
I think it's safe to say that Scott Taylor may have been applying himself in the meantime. He's one of those players that when he finds that dedication, that hunger for the sport, can hit the very, very top levels.
177. Scott, you require 96.
But by his own admission, can sometimes get a little bit lazy.
40.
Plays his best when he's aggressive,
Neil, you require 24.
but it's Neil Duff that can break in 13. 15 would do it, and he'd take
No
it,
score.
but he can't have it. And that is an
Scott, you require
opportunity missed
56.
for Neil Duff after doing some fantastic hard work to take the throw and take the initiative away from Taylor, who has missed the big number. So we'll only have the one at toss, but that's all he needs.
Scott Taylor.
He could have really gone into that one and picked it apart. The
Fourth leg, Neil
double
to
attempt
throw
where he
first.
missed the board,
Game on.
spurning a dart at the big 16. If he was to have lost that leg, that would have been a bitter pill to swallow there for Scott Taylor. Instead, holds it together with the last dart in hand
36.
and gets away with one there. That will hurt Neil Duff.
60.
Yeah, put in a big effort there, did Duff, man. And now has to go again and didn't get off to an ideal start. Taylor couldn't capitalise.
100. $140.
Very aggressive, wasn't it, those last couple of darts? And as you so rightly say, that's when Scott Taylor starts to play his absolute best.
100.
When he has that fire in the throw.
We didn't really see much of the
66.
snarl of Scott Taylor when winning week 11, but nevertheless, here he is.
83.
But he is bang up for this. And we've already seen it plenty.
Well, there's an opportunity here, which is why he's just taking a moment. That stray dart for Neil Duff. I mean, Scott Taylor is guaranteed 6 darts, so this is his setup play. How close can he bring it down?
44.
Doesn't even get down to a finish. Which does make you question, doesn't it? Some players are very good at taking their time and pondering, and others just need to get on and play with as much rhythm
130.
and freedom. The likes of Rob Cross, Kevin Painter come to mind as people that can sort of break up that rhythm.
171. Neil, you require 52.
Taylor has left himself handy here if Duffman can't polish up.
2 10s.
32.
And again, the outer
Scott,
ring
you
is
require
not
20.
playing ball for Neil Duff. Decent guide, something to work
Game
with.
shot on the fourth leg.
Executes it
Scott
brilliantly.
Taylor.
And Taylor is in
Fifth leg,
command.
Scott to throw first.
Knows where the cameras are as
Game
well.
on.
Neil does too, but wants to avoid them at the moment. He's working so hard, scoring well, but 1 from 9 on the outer ring,
180.
proving to be his downfall. Taylor looking to serve this match out, starting perfectly.
100. 135.
Well, 5 trebles with your first 6 starts on the throat. There's only one thing Neil Duff can do, and that's hit all 6. He's not going to be doing that, and Scott Taylor is buying himself a bit of time here at the back end of the leg. It's been an exceptional performance from Scott Taylor. We don't really know what to expect, what version of Scott Taylor's going to turn up, but if this is an indication, he is going to be a lively contender here in this Group B.
Well, you say we don't know what to expect from Scott Taylor, and you're right, and that doesn't even mean from week to week. That's from game to game, match to match. That's what we learned
64.
just a couple of weeks ago. One minute he would be putting in these
145.
fantastic numbers. The next, he was off the pace. But he's a front runner here.
Looking so assured, isn't he? Looking so in control. He might be about to finish the game with full control, but Neil Duff is sat waiting should Scott Taylor make a mistake, but he loves the top end of the board.
Match start.
Game
Taken.
shot and a match.
Flawless.
Scott Taylor.
Professional. Brilliant by Scott Taylor. Neil Duff scoring well. But again, 1 from 9 on the outer ring, proving to be the Duff man's downfall. It's impressive from Taylor, but we'll be back on that stage in a couple of matches' time. Meanwhile, after the break, it's Henry Coates taking on Scott Robertson. Well, what a great night we are enjoying here in Group B already this evening in the 14th edition of Champions Week. Henry Coates, Scott Robertson about to do battle. Coates winning the opening match of the night with a 99 average against Neil Duff, who, before the break, went back-to-back, being defeated by Scott Taylor, who was impressive, himself averaging comfortably in the 90s. Scott Robertson can feel a little unfortunate. It was 2-0 to the good, and yet missed a match start for a 1-1-6 checkout to get the victory over Derek Coulson. DC averaging over 105.5 to scrape a win. And that's what it was, scraping a win against
First leg,
Robertson.
Henry to throw first. Game on.
That's the quality Scott possesses, and he is going to need it all again here, as Henry Coates really is in
96.
fine fettle. The Butcher from Derbyshire, Rising Star champion, is looking very dangerous, but so is the Scot.
140.
Well, I suppose there would be an element of full circleness if Henry Coates was to pick up the title on Saturday. And when you consider that he picked up the Rising Stars title, so in effect the
134.
youth tournament here at the Super Series, and then would be able to win the main comp and the biggest prize that we have to offer.
93.
I know retaining that title is something very high up on the priority list. He's been constantly asking when that tournament will return. It will
177.
be back at the end of the year. And for the second consecutive game, Henry Coates could well kick things off an 11-darter.
134. Henry, you require 94.
Robertson manages to half his score.
54. Scott, you require
Can he get a poke at the
134.
134 as well? But he falls at the first. And Coates will now return for tops for a
92.
13-dart opening hold.
Henry, you require 40. Game shot on the
Once
first
again,
leg.
Henry Coates sets his stall out right from the get-go. 13-darter all throw.
first. Game on.
Triple H, one to the good. There's a possibility here, if Scott Robertson loses this game, that we
58.
could see some table separation right away, because we've already seen Neil Duff play 2, lose 2 this evening. If Scott Robertson was to be defeated here, he would be in exactly the same boat.
100.
And they face each other in a couple of matches' time. Coulson against Taylor next. Then it is that match between Duff and Robertson,
99.
before Henry Coates and Derek Coulson renew their rivalry from Group A.
Yeah, so the winner of the next game will be guaranteed to move on to
140.
4 points in the table. And if Coates was to win this particular contest, you get the sense Robertson Duff could be as close to an eliminator as you possibly can get on a Thursday night in a Group
60.
B.
No, let's not get carried away. But you are right, though, as we've already said, things can
100.
get away from you very quickly. And I have to say, though, Scott Robertson hasn't done a lot wrong at all.
140. Henry, you require 161.
Sometimes when you're in this kind of clientele, you just walk into one or two. There's a feeling that that's what's happening right here to Scott
100.
Robertson.
Scott, you require 144.
And things like this might have to go just to get any kind of foothold in this contest. Now, one of them leaves double 12. And the 144 is
Game
got.
shot on the
And
second
full
leg.
credit to Scott Robertson, because he was under the cosh.
Third leg, Henry
Coates
to
was
throw
firing
first.
everything at
Game
him,
on.
but he fires back with a biggie.
100.
That is why Scott Robertson is a force to be reckoned with.
60.
That is why he has been winning titles on the WDF circuit this year.
134.
Well, it ain't too shabby, is it?
No let up at all from Henry Coates. No let up at all
140.
from Scott Robertson. This is a great match, and we're only into the third leg.
Third leg, which could be over rather quickly if Henry Coates carries on in the vein that he's in.
180.
That Maxi leads himself at 87 after 9. Averaging, and I know it's only the tail end of leg 3,
57.
but just a shade
Henry
under
require
120
87.
right now. Has got plenty of time to
55.
get his nose in front. 32 left after 12. Could be a second consecutive 13 darter on throw.
140.
Works his way to
Henry
a finish.
require 32.
But
James on the
Coates
third
isn't
leg.
interested
Henry Coates.
at giving Robertson a shot this time.
Fourth leg, Scott.
It is
to
that
throw
second
first.
13
Game
dart
on.
leg of the match for Henry Coates.
We've always known that Henry's a player with a lot of quality. We've seen him here
100.
for about 18 months now. Picked up that Rising Star title, as we say, but something's just clicked
83.
properly in the last 6 months or so. And we do see it with players like Henry, etc., where we know they've got capability, but eventually they just find that thing that takes them to the next level.
100.
We've always known that this game's in the locker, but he's finding it more consistently now than perhaps he ever has done.
I would argue as well,
94.
prior to that Rising Star success, he was going under the radar. It was all about Charlie Manby. It was all about Jensen Walker. Henry Coates won it,
42.
and he's displaying why, and he has kicked on from there as well.
I don't mean this as a detriment at all to Henry, because I think he's a really good player and
60.
a really likeable guy. But I think even if he wins on Saturday, even if he picks up the title, it will still somewhat go under the radar because of somebody by the name of Jack Drayton, who people are really talking up because of what he's doing on the Dev Tour, mixed up with the title here, mixed up with
125.
titles on the WDF circuit. But I don't think that's a bad thing.
95.
I see your point,
Scott, you require 134.
but I'm not sure I quite agree, which we will discuss in the next leg. Or maybe in this leg. As Coates is on a bogey, Robertson can't take out the 134. Coates has been mixing it up on the Pro Tour. He's a Pro Tour
84.
semi-finalist this year. He should be a Pro Tour finalist this year. He knows full well. He hasn't let it go. His star quite
137.
literally is
Scott, you require
rising,
50.
and rising very, very quickly. Robertson looking to equalise.
James
does
on the
as well.
fourth leg. Scott Robertson.
We're back level.
Fifth leg, Henry to throw
To
first.
repeat it is.
Game on.
It'd be interesting to see what the end of the year
81.
looks like for Henry Coates, because in terms of where he's at, in terms of the Challenge Tour and the Development Tour, he could still
59.
possibly work his way into the World Championship, but he's got work to do. 12th on the Challenge Tour Order of Merit, and as far as the Development Tour
93.
is concerned, finds himself down in 20th. So work to do in both of them to get into the World Championship, which if he does, that will be some achievement, a debut at Alexandra Palace. Of course, players of Outdoor God now get that extra
85.
luxury of playing in a UK and Ireland qualifier for the Worlds now, which David Davis won back in 2025 for the 2026 edition.
180.
Well, Coates is going to be back on the Pro Tour next week as well in Hildesheim. It will be Dev Tour as well, so busy, busy, busy.
140. Henry require 147.
Real nice rhythm to this game. Coates looking for a big finish of his own and was a
111.
width of a wire away.
We're into leg 5 of this contest, and that is the first dart missed at a double by either player. It was all perfect on the
100.
outer ring up until that point.
Henry, you require 36.
Is it going to be a third consecutive 13 dart on throw? Knows the answer to that, but
James
14
on
will
the fifth
do.
leg. Henry Coates.
And it is 3-2 to the
Sixth leg,
youngster.
Scott to
Average
throw
bang on
first.
108.
Game on.
Scott Robertson must be thinking,
60.
just how am I not able to be winning these matches? Everyone is playing so well against me. Well, the answer is they have to. That's the sort of quality
95.
he possesses. And again, separate generations. Scott Robertson's star is also on the rise as well.
Average against him tonight is 106 so far.
137.
Welcome to Champions Week, pal. It's a slight upgrade on quality than playing the likes of Jared Cole in a Group B last week.
81.
I mean, that is below the belt considering he saved your barbecue.
Wasn't really a barbecue, was it?
100.
Nevertheless.
It was the most shambolic event that's ever been put on.
57.
Yeah, the less said, the better. Anyway, Robertson looking to send us all the way here. And again, in a match featuring this man, it deserves to go all the way.
140.
This is where it's a shame it is a short format, because you could watch these quality matches all
134.
night.
Scott, you require 64.
To take us all the way, and full credit here to Scott Robertson. He's had a lot chucked at him tonight, but still he's rolling with the punches. Double 16 to take us the distance.
48.
Is that the last dart
Henry,
he throws in
require
this contest? Because you
134.
wouldn't put this past Henry Coates. You wouldn't put it past him now. The first tops doesn't
74.
correlate.
Scott, you require 16.
You fancied it to go. He fancied it to go. This has to go.
Game
gone as
on the
well.
sixth flag. Scott Robertson.
And on we go. All the way.
Seventh and final leg, Henry to
Coates
throw first.
on his
Game
own
on.
throw has been strong, and that is an understatement. There's your example.
180.
Well, for Scott Robertson to break in every single leg that Henry Coates has had the throw, and he's had to complete the leg in 4 visits. 13, 13, 14. The darts needed for Henry Coates to
57.
win legs with the honour.
83.
Good recovery the last, but still, Robertson may have to fill it up. Definitely minimum 140.
$140.
Well, there is your minimum. Coach started this leg with a maximum,
96.
and he's down to a finish after 9. Can Robertson join him? No, he cannot.
60.
So, Coach
Henry
now
require 142.
has control, has a bit of time to play with. And that time is going to be well utilised. He's moving across because he needs the treble 17.
118.
Exquisite.
Every single time Henry Coates has been on throw in this game, he's left himself on a double after 12. And there's nothing that Scott Robertson can do about it. All he can do is apply pressure and hope his
85.
opponent buckles. And he's left himself on a bogey.
Henry require 24.
So Coates has got the luxury of time.
Game
Time
shot,
he does
man of
not
match,
need. What
Henry
a performance
Coates.
that was from Henry Coates. Average just under 104. In fairness, Scott Robertson played his part in a superb contest. But for the second consecutive game, The Scot has been hit by a player averaging way in excess of a ton. Coates did his job on throw. He had it 4 times, he won it 4 times, and in every single leg, won it in 5 visits. Coming up after the break, it's Coulson against Taylor. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where before the break, Henry Coates, of an average of 103.73, got the better of Scott Robertson for 3. An incredible contest in that one. Henry Coates, every single time he was on throw, he found a 5-visit leg. Just stopped Scott Robertson in his tracks, and for the second consecutive game, the Tartan Tungsten Warrior has been hit with an average in excess of a ton. These two both won their opening games, Derek Coulson and Scott Taylor. The winner will join Henry Coates on 4 at the
First
top of
leg,
the
Derek
table,
to throw
and
first.
2 of the
Game
most
on.
decorated players we've ever seen here. Both with 6 weekly titles to their name, and 6 is seemingly the magic number when it comes to Scott Taylor, because he was the Series 6
140.
champion, beating Tom Sykes by 4 legs to 1 in that final. here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth.
58.
And if he was to be successful this weekend, he would put himself in a league of his own. Only he and Luke Little have picked up 2 Champions Week titles. As for Derek Coulson, there was a couple of concerns at the
60.
start. Trailed 2-0 to Scott Robertson, but then reeled off 4 of the next 5 legs, averaging 105 to win by 4 legs to
99.
3. A chance for one of these two, Matthew Edgar now joining me here in the commentary box, to really impose themselves on this Group B.
Yeah, and what a great recovery it was for Derek Coulson as well. He's had a torrid day yesterday, didn't he, when he had the opportunity of
100.
qualifying for finals night direct. The old straight to go sort of scenario, wasn't it? Where obviously you can tell I've not played Monopoly for a long time. But he had the direct pass. It was there. Ashley Coleman losing the first couple of games. He had the head-to-head clash with Ashley Coleman. He wasn't able to cash it in. He didn't win a single
51.
game, which posed questions, didn't it, going into today? What is Derek Coulson going to be like? And I said earlier this afternoon, the first game or two
58.
will really be key. He has to come out
Derek, you require
and start
150.
afresh and start with something positive. There's nothing more positive than a win with 105 average.
And he was lucky for 150 to get this game up and running. Found the first jump and unable to get the second.
134.
But has left
Scott, you
himself on a
require
double. 4-seed the
152.
152 as Scott Taylor to be got.
Well, he fancies it, doesn't he? Bit of time at the back of the stage, getting that grip between the teeth, but that's just not
95.
worked for Scott Taylor
Derek, you
so far.
require
It didn't work
16.
for him in his opening game, his 4-1 success over Neil Duff.
Game
It's
shot on the
not worked
first
for
leg.
him here.
Derek Coulson.
Nice,
Second
solid
leg,
holder
Scott
throw
to
there for
Rofus.
Derek Coulson,
Simon.
who was the favourite before a dart was thrown, not just in this group, but for the week. And in fact,
45.
despite the fact we've got Ashley Coleman already through to Saturday and we've had a day's worth of play in Group C, Coulson was the weekly favourite going into tonight as well. And that's the respect he's earned, isn't it, here at the Super Series. When he
97.
first came here, he was a bit of an unknown. We know all about Derek Coulson now.
Well, he's gone from somebody who was pitter-pattering
60.
around the senior circuit to someone that most people in the know say is the best player, hasn't got a tour card currently. Yes, he might be number 2 on the Challenge Tour behind Joe Hunt, but many believe
60.
that this is the best man outside the top 128 in the world.
You just said many people in the know believe he's... Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I never said who.
48.
Joe Hunt, honourable mention in that conversation, currently top of the Challenge Tour, has played here at the Super Series, didn't manage to find his way through.
There's something about being number 1 on the Challenge
60.
Tour that, I don't know, it just... If you look at the trends over the last few years, it's never quite worked out for players who've been top of that order of merit. Bevan Peer straggled his way for a week. Wesley Plazier could
125.
never win a week. Robert Towen had an up and down time here.
$100. $59.
Well, a bit of a slip there for Scott Taylor. Derek Coulson, with all his experience, with all his quality, will be seeing this as a real opportunity. Only one treble required here to give himself a genuine chance. That's blocked, surely.
94.
Nice switch. Comes
Scott,
away,
you
finds
require
the treble, and that
164.
gives him options here, does Derek Coulson, if he comes back. Inviting.
124.
This
Derek,
is a
you
shot I
require
can assure you
90.
players love. Just stay straight, stay on those 20s. You always expect at least a dart at the bullseye. That's what it's going to be here for Derek Coulson to double his lead.
65.
Unable to find.
Scott, you require 40.
Well, how many times have we said this line over the year? Tops for Taylor, but this time it doesn't correlate. It's double five. He's
35.
chasing around, but he cannot find what he's looking for.
Derek, you require
And it
25.
could be 0-2 as opposed to U2 for Scotty T, because Coulson bears his teeth down on double 8 and now double 4. 2-0 to DC.
Derek Coulson.
There are some games, there are some legs, there are some players
Third
where you
leg,
can get
Derek
away
to
with missing an
throw first.
opportunity, like
Game
3
on.
darts in hand. Derek Coulson is not one of those players where you're going to get away with those misses.
$100. $101. $140.
Looking happy and settled here, is he, Scott Taylor? Shaking his head at the back of the stage, racing to the oche. Trying to find a
$134.
little bit of a spark. We know a 2-0 lead is nothing to be assured of. Derek Coulson himself has turned that around already this evening.
Well, they say in football, don't they, that 2-0 is a dangerous score line. Of course, we'll be
91.
hoping that's an irrelevant in this game. Leads himself on the big fish. Taylor has to watch his work here.
84. Derek, you require 170.
Doesn't have to go for it if he doesn't want to. We'll never know if he was feeling fruity or not.
75.
Can't imagine Derek Coulson would be the sort of player to get drawn into the theatrics. Derek Coulson is very focused on one thing, and that is winning. And winning enough games so that he can become a series champion here at the Super Series. In what might be one of the last series we ever have him here at the Super.
At the
100.
Super. I've heard it be called
Derek,
many
you
things
require
over the years.
$95.
Never heard it be called the Super.
Yeah, I was being trendy. I was shortening it.
Yeah, it didn't work. Double off the cards now.
79. Scott, you require 82.
So Taylor here looking at 82 to get himself back into the contest. Well, that first dart wasn't the worst accident in the
James
world
on the
because he's
third
now
one.
found the
Scott
bullseye
Taylor.
to get himself back into the contest. It's a break back in his favour.
Full flag Scott to throw first.
And now has the
on.
opportunity to square up at Desmond.
Well, that is a touch of class.
96.
And when you're here at Champions Week, you expect things like that to go out against you. You just hope it comes at different times. Coulson was in the driving seat in a great position here. And all of a sudden, we're back to game on.
100.
That's the beauty of this format, isn't it? That's why the players hate it. I remember a few years ago, I believe
48.
it was 2012, the UK Open used to be played on a Thursday evening for the opening rounds, and they decided that was going to be best of 7. I don't think one single player in the practice room back at the old Reebok Stadium
93.
in Bolton had anything positive to say about that experience. It is a short format. It is cutthroat darts.
$84.
The longer the format, we always suggest that the better player wins. That's why we get so many shocks and surprises here, isn't it? It only takes 3 minutes, 4 minutes of inspired darts and you're over the line with a couple of points.
56.
Yeah, it only takes a spell of legs, which in this fight will win you the game, where, say, for example, at the World Match Play, that spell just gives you a decent mini session.
88.
And look at the players in the lineup tonight. Neil Duff, Scott Robertson, Derek Coulson, Scott Taylor, Henry Coates, all capable of some of the most inspired 3 minutes you could ever see.
$58.
Taylor looking to set up to level this game.
82.
Still leads himself in three-figure range. Coulson has an opportunity to really pile the pressure on here. really force the issue and to really pounce on what feels like a bit of a mistake from his opponent. Goes across to the 14s. Will
Scott,
leave
you
himself
require
on 60
103.
if Taylor cannot take out this three-figure combo. Starts on the bull. And now look at a double 19.
65.
But just underneath.
Derek, you require
Nearly
60.
saved it there for a while. There's a bit of a mess with that opening dart, but Derek Coulson, we know the way he throws the darts. That's going to stay out of the way. He's got a nice clean open target. Scott Taylor grimaces, shakes his head. He thinks it's going to go,
50.
but he's wrong. You can sometimes do that when you stood at the back. Just assume
Scott, you
your
require
opponent's capable of
38.
hitting everything. But people do miss, and you've got to stay ready. Which is why Scott Taylor just using a moment here to compose himself, to reset, and not
22.
able to deliver.
Derek, you require
Well, you
10.
seldom get multiple opportunities to win a leg against Derek Coulson. So when you do, you have to take them. Taylor's been unable to oblige to that particular task.
6.
He's going to get more chances. This is getting very edgy.
Scott, you require 16.
Quick glance over to the averages to see both players fractionally over the 80 mark. That's not where you expect this one to be. But it could be a level game.
Game showing the 4th leg.
A level
Scott
game
Taylor.
it is. You can see the frustration here for Scott Taylor. Asking
leg,
of himself,
Derek to
demanding
throw
of
first.
himself,
Come
expects
on.
more, wants more. He's looking for more. He's looking for it on the stage. He's looking for it off the stage. Is he going to find it?
Interestingly, just having a look at the head-to-head between the pair,
100.
they met at Champions Week in Series 11. Ah, Scott Taylor challenging his inner Colin Lloyd there. With the threat to punch the board.
92.
But they met in Series 11 Champions. We went about this time last year. Played 3 times. Scott Taylor won 2 of those meetings. Derek Coulson won the first match on Monday in the group A. Scott Taylor would win the 2 matches subsequent to it.
99.
Oh, what a dart that was. Just managing to crowbar one in there.
Think about it. Think about
135.
Derek Coulson, you lucky boy. Had he have hit the single there, would not have left the finish. And that's when Scott Taylor, you would imagine, would have come up with that steely, aggressive nature, trying to leave
100.
himself a finish and get himself down
Derek, you require
first.
126.
All worked out well in the end.
Can plot his path accordingly from here. Doesn't have to go for the bull. Is never going to be
86.
tempted by it. Will leave himself on tops after 12 to restore order in this game. He's going to try and fill it up.
135.
Scott Taylor unable to do so.
Derek,
So
you require
this
40.
to re-establish the lead for Derek Coulson.
Game showing the 5th leg.
13
Derek
Data
Coulson.
gets himself back on track, gets him back in front
6th leg,
3-2.
Scott to throw first. Game on.
Responsive play, isn't it, from Derek Coulson this evening? And positive responses.
180.
Lost all 5 games yesterday, came out with 105 average. Misses darts to go 3-1 up, comes out with a 13 dart leg. Now in this situation, Scott Taylor kicking off with a maximum. Coulson,
134.
you can imagine, will just be thinking, well, it's okay, it's his throat. I'll just stay in it, hope for a chance, and if it doesn't come, I've got the darts in the
100.
last leg. Sort of just takes the pressure out of it. Takes the sting out of the leg.
However, one thing you always expect from Scott Taylor, irrespective of the
100.
scenario, is a response. That's exactly what we're getting here.
135.
And he's left himself on a 2-darter after 9 on throw to take us the distance. Coulson can only try and apply pressure. It's taken a few legs, but all of a
57.
sudden this
Scott, you
game is
require
just
86.
beginning to brim up to the boil as we head towards its close. 61 left. Now, Derek was on a finish, would have looked at 11 and Bull. Doesn't have to go that way. So the treble 19 for double
84.
2 was the play in the end.
Okay. I mean, each to their own.
138. Scott, you require 2.
Well, you left it, Scott.
Game
And he
shot on the
takes
sixth
it.
leg.
I've
Scott
just
Taylor.
got no idea. I've got no idea. We're all the way to
7 for
3-3.
5 leg, Derek.
It was a
throw
balmy
first.
end to leg
Game on.
6, but it's one in Scott Taylor's ledger.
That dart there for Coulson is not where he wants it. Stubborn with the second
91.
dart. Should have switched earlier. Rescues it in the end.
Well, that was from about 3 visits earlier of Scott Taylor. And that dart
119.
diverted into the treble 19.
Again, just pitching on the top wire. That's not where Derek Coulson wants
57.
these darts. And he's not switching early enough for me here. Throwing darts where he's trying to throw into the tiny corners of the treble
95.
in a last leg shootout is not advisable.
Well, I said it was a game that was getting better in quality as it went along, but now the edginess has returned as we head towards a leg which will determine who moves on to 4 points in this group. And who is going to put
100.
themselves in a really good position as we head towards the halfway point of the night. A night which has already seen 3 of its
60.
matches go the distance, this being the third of which. Coulson's already won in a last leg decider. He still had to average 105 to get over the line 4-3 against Scott Robertson. Hasn't quite been the same levels of performance,
100.
but he's going to give himself an opportunity to win this one by the same scoreline.
Taylor would love a 140 here. Not going to be.
57.
Does get down to a finish, but it's the
Derek
biggest
require
one of them all. You'd say
153.
big advantage here for Derek Coulson. Coulson, in any normal leg, would have been expecting 6 darts here.
Nobody has hit a 170 more in this building than Scott Taylor. He's done so on no fewer than 7 occasions.
93.
But this might
Scott,
be
you
the
require
biggest of the big fish
170.
finishes that he has found here at the Live Lounge. And it's on. But not any
62.
longer.
Derek,
so
you require
Coulson
60.
to get over the line, to win a seesaw contest. Sometimes we've seen the ridiculous, sometimes we've seen the sublime,
Game shot,
but
man
Derek
match.
Coulson won't
Derek Coulson.
care because that is his 2nd consecutive win. And the woes of Wednesday have been put well and truly behind Derek Coulson now. 2 wins out of 2 on this Thursday night, and all of a sudden, he's the man to beat again. Getting the better of Scott Taylor by 4 legs to 3. It wasn't the best game you'll see tonight, but Derek Coulson won't care. He's got 2 more points to his tally. We are at the halfway point of this Group B at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth on this Champions Week Thursday. Before the break, Derek Coulson got the better of Scott Taylor by 4 legs to 3. That means he moves on to 4 points alongside Henry Coates, who's had the perfect start to the night. 2 from 2, including an average of 103.73 plus 4 leg difference. So he's top of the table courtesy of that metric. Scott Taylor, the other winner tonight, with both Scott Robertson and Neil Duff finding themselves languish at the bottom of the table. Work to do without a win to their name. And it is the 2 players who are on donut totals in terms of their points return that go head-to-head in Game 6. You wouldn't quite say it's a win or bust game, but the loser of this will find themselves with a mountain to climb in terms of qualification. For Neil Duff, I suppose the way he's been playing tonight is exemplified maybe the difference between what you can do in a week to win and then what you can do at a Champions Week to win. Because both his games tonight, he's averaged 88.38, 87.95, 1 from 3, 1 from 9 in the doubles. Now, in terms of those numbers, in a normal week, you may be able to win a fair few games playing at that kind of level. But when you get to this level, against this clientele, you might win 1 or 2. But more often than not, you find yourself wanting.
It's okay, isn't it? It's average, it's standard, but that's about all it is.
100.
And we can see very quickly here a change for Neil Duff. He has moved to something I do not advocate for at the moment. I don't see the real benefit. I mean, I suppose he's maybe feeling that the darts aren't quite reaching. Changing to this tri-fin system will make the dart travel faster. It'll also make it spin. Also make it lose a little bit of control in the air, especially for where Neil Duff grips the dart and for the length of the dart as well. So I'm really interested to see how he gets on with it here. It must be something that's working for him in practice. You wouldn't just change to this system in the middle of a Champions Week Group B campaign to test something out.
However, if you're the other players in the practice room, are you taking note of that? And if you are, what notes are you taking?
Well, I'm watching the darts. That's the main thing. You can't control where the darts go if you don't control the darts. And what I see a lot with this tri-fin system is the darts landing in at different
59.
angles. We saw there the dart that went in the 5, kicking across, laying down. We see one that's upright, one that's a bit flat. You do lose a bit of control. You sacrifice that.
140.
But what you do gain in benefits is less material in the way, so less deflections, and the dart is going to travel faster to the board. Like I say, Neil Duff must have seen something within this. It's just
Neil, you require 66.
unusual to see someone who grips centre of the barrel using this type of system. I'm excited to watch this.
46.
He's someone that even now
Scott,
still wants to
80.
constantly evolve their game, Neil Duff. But he may be forced to find an extra level right from the get-go in this game.
Game shot on the
Scott
first leg.
Robertson
Scott Robertson.
gets his nose in front by getting that double 10.
Second leg, Scott to throw first.
And if anybody's finding life tumultuous at this Champions Week, it's Scott Robertson. He's not played poorly. 96, 95 average.
81.
And he's got scant reward for it. Derek Coulson averaging 105.58 against him. Henry Coates averaging 103.73 against him. Lost both matches at the last leg decider.
121.
You know they say that in sport, that all the time you get what you deserve. Well, sometimes that doesn't ring true.
59.
Because it wasn't as if he was missing loads of darts at a double. Missed 5 against Derek Coulson. Only missed a couple against Coates. Pinned to 144 in the process. But life at this level, Matt, is hard. And it should be hard.
There's a lot of money on the line, isn't there?
100.
£25,000. And that journey as well. The opportunity for more. The ADC Global Championship coming up in November.
100.
Yes, the expanded ADT Global Championship. 128 players. Well, Scott Robertson could be in a position where he could play in the Global Championship and the World Championship because players will be eligible to play in both this year.
100.
Dates not clashing, and there is a freedom to go and
Scott,
play
you
in both.
require
There's not a
81.
commitment to one or the other in 2026. Double 12.
Game shown the second
2-0.
leg.
This is
Scott
good.
Robertson.
15 followed by 15. 100.2.
Third leg, Neil.
The
to
average. Neil Duff
throw
himself
first.
actually just over a ton, but he's only had a
Game on.
solitary dart and a double to show for it.
Tough school.
140.
But as I always say with Group B, go for that 10 points while ever you've got the opportunity. 5 games is all you need. Yes, you're losing the opportunity and the
100.
lives and the safety nets. But don't play the table. So easy to get drawn into it, to monitor it, to track it, to watch other results, to see how it goes.
60.
If you hit that 10 points, it doesn't matter.
If you play well, who needs a table?
$100.
It's very true, though. While ever you're winning, you don't care about the table. I've been in many practice rooms.
60.
Certainly back in the old days of Southampton, but that was the exact same format which we are playing here. I guarantee you the player who was top of the table never cared about the table. They knew where they was. It's the people that have won one, lost one, won one, lost one. They want to know because they're
41.
unsure. They're unsure of the position of which they find themselves in.
$140.
What's the old saying? Winners win and losers have to find justifications.
Spend a lot of time justifying things then, Henry.
81. Neil, you require
Ooh, a
101.
bit of a slip there for Robertson with the last start. Gives Neil Duff a bit of time. A bit of time. That is a rare factor for him so far this
Game
evening.
shown the third leg.
And he uses
Neil
it
Duff.
well. 15 darts of that in the end there for Neil Duff. In fact, all winning
Fourth leg,
legs
Scott to
have
throw
been with
first.
15 darts.
Game
We have a
on.
quality game on our hands here.
$97.
Starting to find that first dart, Neil Duff, and following it in well.
180.
And when you've got a bit of a reputation of being a winner, not just here but also on the WDF circuit, which we know Robertson's been playing little bits of here and there, you can start to just install that bit of fear, that bit of doubt when you start finding darts like this.
140.
Because your opponent knows what you're capable of. They've seen it before. You are tried, you are tested, you are proven. Scott Robertson just got to stick to the task.
94.
Don't get drawn into the seesawing emotion of this match, because Duff is hitting back hard.
Guess what? Scott Robertson's at the hockey and his opponent's going
149.
ballistic. And
Scott, you
Neil
require
Duff is on for a
170.
potential 10-darter to level up at 2-2. He's brought his average now in excess of 110. But Robertson's looking at the ball for the big fish. Neil Duff was on for a 10-darter there and nearly didn't get a look
Neil,
at
you
it.
require
I think if that
32.
went, Neil Duff would have just gone home and I wouldn't have blamed him. But he's got to compose himself here. A very serious moment in this very serious game for Neil Duff. Was that a
28.
distraction? Was that
Scott,
distraction
you
the
require
dart wire in the
25.
bullseye for the 170? Did it knock Neil Duff out of his stride?
Huge opportunity potentially missed for the Duff man. This for Robertson to open up that
Game
cushion
shown the
again.
fourth leg.
14
Scott
darts
Robertson.
at 3-1.
See that relief? That's what it was. That's what it is
Fifth
still
leg,
now. A
kneel
puff of
to
the
throw
cheeks
first.
for Robertson, who is 8
Game on.
points down in the averages, but 2 points up in the leg. I know which one I would rather be.
Averages, smaverages.
28. $180. $31.
Well, it's all going wrong now, isn't it, for Neil Duff? It was looking so positive a moment ago, looking at a 10-dart leg. Misses the 3 darts. 6 darts here without anything. And look at Robinson going here.
177.
The 9 is on. What a way this would be to pick up his first win here at Champions Week.
Well, this is incredible.
45.
What a moment this
Scott,
could
you
be for
require
Scott Robertson
144.
in his debut Champions Week campaign. He's already taken out a 144 tonight. Can he take it out again for the 9? Double 12. Scott
Game
Robertson
shot
with a Champions
and the
Week
match.
9
Scott
darter.
Robertson.
Some way to get over the line. Neil Duff cannot believe what's been hit against him, but he's been hit with utter perfection from Scott Robertson. What a week he's having. He won his first Super Series title last Saturday, and on his return on Thursday, he has the crowning glory of a 9-dart leg. What a way to seal the match. What a way to get his first win. And have a look at that. An average of 107.35. But more important than anything else, he is a Champions Week 9-dart hero.
Scenes of perfection. Scott Robertson hitting his first ever 9-dart leg here at Champions Week. Flawless, magnificent, incredible. Scott Robertson winning it with a 9. 4-1 over Neil Duff. Absolutely amazing. What a moment for Scott Robertson. His first win of the night as well. Just look what it means to him. And now we roll on. There's no time to dwell. This is a top of the table clash. Henry Coates, Derek Coulson renewing their blossoming rivalry off the back of their Group A exploits. Derek a 4-2 winner over Henry on Monday. A 4-1 winner on Tuesday. But a key moment on Wednesday morning. Locked at 3 apiece, Henry Coates took out a 160 to defeat Derek Coulson, which sent DC spiralling.
First leg, Henry to throw first.
Here they
Game
are.
on.
Now in Group B, and Henry Coates is just getting better
96.
and better as the week progresses. Coulson was more hard fought over Scott Taylor. Both of his matches going the distance, but on both occasions he has come out on top. Matthew Edgar, what a night we are
100.
having.
Do you know, I'm just looking through the results we've had so far this evening. I'm trying to think who's been the standout player, because that's how I was going to open this match, suggesting it was Henry
85.
Coates. But then you look at his opponent here, Derek Coulson. He's had to dig in and he's produced some great darts tonight in 2-4-3 victories. You look at Scott Robertson, who was unfortunate to lose his first couple of matches just by a leg
140.
before hitting that 9-darter to see off a 7-time champion in Neil Duff.
100.
Would I be fair in saying Henry Coates so far performer of the evening? I think I would. He's been superb. But this one, it's going to be up against it, you feel, here. Derek Coulson already had an average
60.
of 105. The favourite to win the week. The favourite to win the group. But one thing we know about Henry Coates, certainly for his
100.
performance yesterday, is a bit of a disruptor.
Well, Scott Robertson hitting the 24th 9-dart leg we've ever had in this building.
130.
First in Champions Week since way
Henry
back in
require
Series 5, hit by
120.
Sebastian Białecki. Coates looking at Shanghai 20s, but no, Bull was the modus operandi.
62.
As Coulson now eyes
Derek
71
require
for a break.
71.
You can never fully tell what the players can see, but that target still looked a bit open to me to the left-hand side. Felt like he ran for cover a bit soon for the smallest target on the board
61.
and wasn't punished there by Derek
Henry
Coulson.
require 58.
When the treble went in, you almost became expectant.
Can't be giving each other chances. But
38.
Coates has returned the favour.
Derek require 10.
Coulson up for a double 5. Bit wild, bit wayward.
They're awkward darts for Derek Coulson.
5.
You can see by the angle of
Henry
entry on that
required
last one,
20.
catching the flight on the way in. The darts lying flat don't suit Derek Coulson at the top end of the board. He's moving across the hockey like a typewriter
No score.
and not finding any success. Is
Derek
there a case
required
here of
5.
maybe just a little bit too much respect in the early parts here?
Three.
Well, from the sublime of
Henry
Scott
required
Robertson
20.
to the ridiculous of this opening leg,
Game show on the
Coates
first leg.
finally
Henry
obliges
Coates.
to hold throw in 22
Second leg, Derek
darts.
to throw first. Game on.
Makes you wonder how much the focus was disrupted by that 9. I know the players wasn't on the stage at this point, but when you're in the back room in the practice area,
93.
anytime anyone gets to his first two, either the 180s or the 177, and they're on that finish for the 9-darter, there's often someone in the room who calls it. Everyone stops, has a look, it's gone in.
137.
They come back into the room, there's a lot of commotion. Can just break your focus.
58.
Well, Well, Scott Robertson hasn't got long to just
54.
keep those adrenaline levels in check. He is up next for what is his final match of the evening, taking on Scott Taylor.
See, I think that's perfect. What brilliant scheduling that is. 'Cause
98.
Scott Robertson's going to be on an almighty high at the moment. Now, the longer he goes before coming back to the hockey again, the more chance he's got of having an adrenaline crash.
140.
Where right now, you can manage that high, you can ride that wave, just get on the practice board, have a couple of casual throws. He could come out and produce another banging performance there against Scott Taylor. Had he had to wait 2 matches, I'd have some concerns.
128. Henry require 170.
From a 9-darter in the previous match to maybe a big fish in this one. Oh, it's off the
145.
hook.
Derek, you require 124.
Coulson desperately trying to hold his own throw. But Coates is going to
39.
return with his tail up here.
Henry, you require 25.
Only going to be the one. A double 2.
23.
Making a bit of a mess.
Derek, you require 85.
And Coulson sort out this 85. Well, it's just got to be the 25. But he's got the ball a dart too soon.
69.
It's perfect as well.
Henry, you require 2.
His own doing, though, isn't it? Straying out of the 15 corridor. Henry Coates edging closer
No
to
score.
the double one. Under pitches it. Derek Coulson
Derek, you require 16.
may get away with this one. Henry Coates, who's been so good this evening, only 1 from 11 on the outer ring here, and is
Derek
punished.
Coulson.
A chance
Third
there
leg,
for
Henry to
Henry
throw
Coates
first.
to get some real control, and that's an indication,
Game on.
really, as well, that the mind just not there at the moment for Derek Coulson. Completely lost track of whose throw it is.
100.
That normally only happens when you make it a bit of a strategic play. Oh, sorry, is it not my dart? So
57.
Well, Coates did repay the favour.
92.
We are level. Both of these have given a whole lot more here this evening. Coulson, 105.5.
134.
A 98 backed up by an almost 104 average.
133.
if you stop the players when they arrive at the venue and you say to them, what would you be happy with as a points tally on Champions Week? I reckon they'd all say, I'd be delighted with 6. Whoever wins this game is
95.
going to be on that 6-point mark. It'd be a great night's work. We're still a game to go. And that might be why we're just seeing a couple of missed starts at double here. There's always an edgy
98.
game. There's always an important game somewhere in the evening. Feels like we're watching it right now.
Yeah, if you can come back into the building on Friday night only needing 1 win, perhaps.
59. Henry,
We
you
saw
require
how important
78.
it was for Ashley Coleman in Group A to get off to that good start. Coates doesn't like it,
58.
and that's why.
Derek, you require 156.
There's been some shoddy finishing in this match so far. And for Coulson, it's continuing.
82. Henry, you require 20.
Going inside.
Game showing
Double
the
5 is
third leg.
A-OK.
Henry Coates. Fourth leg, Derek to throw first. Game on.
After speaking to and knowing Henry for a couple of years, I know he's not going to be one of those players that sort of look at this and go, I
134.
should be 3-0 up. I could be 3-0 up. He'll just be happy with the fact he's 2-1, which is exactly the mentality you need. We get a lot of players that get so drawn into what could have been, what should have been.
140.
Buy into that philosophy of if I'm first to the double, I should win the leg. No, you've got the opportunity to win the leg. You can normally tell the players
120.
that do subscribe to the latter because they're the ones that throw their arms around when they're playing a lot of the darts.
Well, a dart on the floor for Coulson doesn't help him now that
139.
Coates has returned with a 2-trouble visit. Coulson still has control, but only just. Coates now starting to ask even more questions of Derek. What a reply.
180.
Well, we've been waiting for the real Derek Coulson to stand up. There he is.
$58. Derek, you require
Please
67.
finish. Did his arithmetic. It's Coulson now. Options. Tops.
47. Henry, you require
Well, this would hurt.
164. $94. Derek, you require 20.
Dublin's not been great here for Coulson. 1 from 9 till this point. That looks inviting.
Game show on the fourth leg.
Always find
Derek
those
Coulson.
starts very inviting
leg,
down the
Henry
left-hand
to
side and the
throw
right-hand
first.
side
Game
due
on.
to that flat angle of entry, which is why I'm surprised they opted to go for 10 for tops when he had the choice of the 18 double 16. Because he's found so much
77.
success in that left-hand corner of the board. You're going to say there's no corners on the circle, aren't you? Yeah.
I was actually going to agree with you
131.
because Derek will tell you himself that tops he has a love-hate relationship with, but he is very, very strong on
60.
double 10.
Do you think maybe it was just the fear of potentially busting and hitting the treble 18 that he's just thought, I'll play it safe?
You would hope something like that
140.
isn't on the mind of a quality player of Coulson.
What's on his mind right now is a potential breaker throw. He's done the
97.
damage in the opening 6. He's wrestled away the advantage of throw. Can he cash it in? You feel like he needs a treble. He's got it with the opening dart. Sucks the pressure out of the situation now.
100.
Little grimace there. After that first start, would have been hoping and expecting for a little bit more, but it's job done for Coulson. First to a finish, and it's a gettable one, but Henry Coates is breathing down his
180.
neck.
Derek, you require
The timing of the
130.
young man is exceptional.
That's why there was a grimace. Coates has the respect of Coulson, who now needs the bullseye.
105. Henry, you require 87.
And off the back of that max, Coates still has a dart to hold.
51.
How did that not go in?
Derek, you require 25.
Puzzling. But Coulson has carved out and earned this opportunity
on the
in that
fifth
left-hand
leg.
side of the board.
Derek
It worked
Coulson.
so well for him. It's done so again. He survives the
Sixth leg,
scare.
Derek
Henry
to
Coates
throw
dug in deep.
first. Game on.
But Derek Coulson eventually gets that breaker throw. He's now serving it out to move himself to 6 points.
43.
Could have been so different. How did that not go? Nevertheless, Coulson isn't away well.
137.
Coates is.
Shown so much character, hasn't he, Coulson, today? Was such a damaging day yesterday. Losing all of his matches. Must have come in this morning.
134.
Just feeling a little bit fragile, a little bit what's going to happen today.
58.
Undoubtedly, that first game really was key. That's pretty much perfect, isn't it, for Coulson? You'd expect him to find both.
100.
Utilises the full width of the
121.
hockey. Still can't quite get to a finish. The thinking was there. The execution was almost there. Derek slips into the treble 5 as well. Has to run for cover.
60.
Just a 60. But it does get him to a potential outshot.
19s was an option there as well for Coulson.
83.
Also meant that he wouldn't be burning a dart, just setting up
Derek,
a
you
finish. He could
require
have been bringing it down quite
164.
handy. We know he's got shots like this in his locker. He just doesn't know where the keys are.
$81. Henry, you require 102.
Coates then. Going to get a shot.
82.
Doesn't take it.
Derek, you require
Coates once
83.
again. Left ruining his misfortune. As Coulson now eyes 83 for the match. 2 match darts. Going to need them both.
67.
Scuppered.
Henry, you require 20.
The area of the board that was so reliable on. Derek Coulson misses, but he will be back. He throws the dart away
No
in frustration
score.
there, Henry Coates.
Derek, you require
Because
16.
he, like the rest of us, thinks this is done.
Coates can't believe how this match has gotten away from him.
Game
And
shot.
it has got
And
away
a
from him.
match. Derek
And it's a
Coulson.
shake of the head as well from Coulson. He knows he may well have gotten away with one there, but he will not care one iota. It's DC that moves to 6 points. 3 wins out of 3 here this evening. The numbers aren't particularly great due to the success of the checkouts. But nevertheless, after the break, it's Robertson against Taylor. Welcome back. And for the final time this evening, the 9-dart hero, Scott Robertson, takes to the stage. He hasn't had long to bring down those adrenaline levels. Can he use them to pick up back-to-back wins here after being very unfortunate to suffer back-to-back defeats in his opening 2 games? They both went the distance. It was to the top 2 in the table. Scott Taylor still has a game to play after this one. That will be against Henry Coates. And speaking of Henrys and Scott Robertson and his adrenaline levels, Henry Deacon, have you had a chance to just bring yours down just a little bit?
Yeah, I had to go outside and have a lay down in a darkened room quite literally after that. But I wonder how Scott Robertson has dealt with the situation.
81.
Because this is where this format becomes very unique. Because in most tournaments, if you hit a 9-dart to win a game, you get the opportunity to go over to see your family
21.
and friends and be able to bask in that moment. That's all going to be bubbling up, and he knows the second that this game is completed and he'll get access to his electronic devices again, his phone's going to blow up.
180.
He's back on the 180 trail again, right from the very outset of this contest against Scott Taylor, who is only at the halfway point of his night.
100.
Played 1, lost 1 so far. We'll finish off the show against Henry Coates. Could be an important contest, that one.
140.
Sherwood Forest might be miles away, but nevertheless, we've had a Robin Hood.
Riding through the Glen, although there's only one Glen here, and
Scott,
that's
you
Glen
require
Davant.
100.
Well, there was one Glen here in Glen Davant. Trouble 16 for double with Taylor all the way back in the 300s.
68.
Can't help but feel as well that Scott Robertson has deserved this. He was so good despite losing out
41.
to Derek Coulson, who
Scott, you require
averaged 105,
32.
to Henry Coates, who averaged 103. That's what you've got to do to beat this guy.
Game
He's
shot on the first
1-0
leg.
up
Scott
already.
Robertson. Second leg, Scott Taylor to throw first.
Well,
Game on.
you'll probably say that eventually he's getting his just desserts in terms of results in correlation of
125.
output, because even in the 2 games he lost, you mentioned those 200-plus averages, but in both of those games, he got to 3 legs. He had opportunities potentially to be completing the card in this contest.
60.
But as they famously said in that
57.
film, it's not how hard you hit, it's how hard you get hit and then keep moving forward as a result. Well, the last couple of words wasn't on the particular script.
100.
Close enough.
But anyway, getting to 4 legs is how winning is done in this particular format.
61.
Scott Taylor, perhaps one of the most adept at doing it.
Scott Robertson, he got knocked down, but he got up again.
91.
But when players are down, you have to keep them down, just like they have done against Neil Duff this evening. He has to face Derek Coulson in his final match this evening,
94.
seeking his first win. That is coming up after this one, before Scott Taylor rounds off the evening's proceedings with that match against Henry Coates.
57. Scott, you require 164.
6 from here to square up. We'll need the full quota to get ourselves back on terms in this contest.
64.
25 leads himself on a squared ton.
$78. Scott,
Wow.
you require 100.
Line across. Only one of the trebles was desired.
80.
Double 10 was desired there for Taylor.
Scott, you require 115.
Gives Robertson a shot at the 115. Oh, in the top corner, so double 18.
97. Scott, you
Would have been
require
his
20.
third tub plus checkout of the night, and the first one, there was a 144. Double five, won him his series
James on the
title, and
second
double
leg.
five wins
Scott
him that
Taylor.
leg. Still not overly enamoured
Third
in
leg,
terms
Scott
of performance
Robertson
so
to
far.
throw
He
first.
knows there's a lot
Game
of
on.
gears to go. And this is why averages sometimes could be an absolute irrelevance in a contest. Because Scott Robertson found a
58.
13 dart to win leg one. Scott Taylor won leg two with 8 darts more. There's a 30-odd point gap in terms of the averages, but we're level at one apiece.
100.
Just goes to show that as good as a 13 darter is, you get it done in 21, it means just as much.
But once again, numerically, we're seeing the inconsistencies of Scott Taylor. Exactly like
59.
we did a couple of weeks ago. En route to Taylor securing his 6th regulation title here.
100.
And by his own admission, he doesn't play anywhere near as much as he used to, which is why sometimes we see consistency like curdled milk from him at times.
58.
Very big argument to be made there that he is the
96.
Super Series GOAT. Let's not forget, he has that additional series title to go with those impressive numerical weekly wins. He's got the one thing Neil Duff wants.
120.
And look, he could be a couple of days away where we call him perhaps the undisputed best of the best. Because there'd be no other argument against him.
57.
In terms of weekly wins, in terms of series titles, because if he wins on Saturday night, that'll be 8 wins across everything. Neil Duff will be level on 8 with 7 weeklies in a specials week. Whatever your argument,
100.
there'd be no counter to Scott
Scott,
Taylor
you
being the
require
best as ever graced this
148.
building. I'll tell you, he's not going to find the 148 to win leg 3 against the throw. Robertson here
94.
looking at
Scott, you
106
require
to
106.
get his nose back in front.
Over to 18s, but no treble.
39. Scott, you require 54.
So, Taylor just about gets the big 14. And finds
on a third
double
leg.
10 as
Scott
well.
Taylor.
Big moment. Taylor gets his break.
Fourth leg, Scott Taylor to throw first.
Well,
Game
after
on.
what was such an impressive start from Scott Robertson, Scott Taylor has scrapped away to win the 2 legs that he's got on the board.
96.
As Glenn Durrant would say, it's gone from the sublime to the ridiculous.
$140.
Robertson
99.
threatening to undo his good work here. Hasn't completed a match yet this evening with an average under 95.
121.
He's still in the 90s, just. He's a breakdown to Taylor.
57.
And you mentioned the statistics. Prior to this game, Scott Taylor's highest average was 91.85. But yet could find himself potentially,
43.
if his last 2 games go to plan, 4 points clear of Scott Robertson. Just goes to show sometimes what averages are worth. Just ask Martin Adams.
85.
I'd rather not. Robertson then would feel as though he has 6 from here.
100. Scott, you require 164.
Taylor can ruin those feelings with another one of those. And now the ball.
139.
Oh, that was close.
Scott, you require 97.
Close, but no cigar. And so Robertson here have an opportunity to level up at 2-2 if he can find double top.
Game shown the fourth leg.
Well, the 2 legs
Scott
he's won,
Robertson.
he's played fairly well to win. But the problem Scott Robertson's got is the
Fifth
stuff
leg,
on the
Scott
sides have been
Robertson
nowhere
to
near
throw
good enough.
first. Game on.
If he plays to that level, he'll win this game. Simple as that. But if he drops below it again, he's going to give Scott Taylor opportunities.
Crucially, though, he's got his break back.
139.
Game returns to throw, which means as a consequence, Robertson returns to favourite to win this contest.
55.
Deservedly so. He has been fantastic this evening. May only win 2 matches here this evening. May only win 1. The fact is, he could have had 3 minimum.
137.
And it wouldn't surprise you in the slightest if tomorrow night Scott Robertson played a little bit worse but picked up more points for it. It wouldn't be the first or last
58.
time we've seen that here. But if he gets the 4 overnight, he has done well to
99.
recover the
Scott,
situation,
you
which
require
at the midway
124.
point was just beginning to get desperate for him. 6 on the 1-2-4 is going to need it, having slipped into the single 5. 62 remaining.
72.
Should have 2 in hand and a double when he returns.
100. Scott, you require 52.
Well, when he has won legs in this match, it's always been rounded off in this visit.
44.
It's not going to happen this time, and it's a dangerous ploy
Scott, you require 110.
to give Scott Taylor a chance of this sort of outshot. Robertson gets away with it,
54.
and he's back now
Scott, you require 8.
to edge back ahead.
Game
And
shown the
Robertson
fifth
does
leg.
edge ahead
Scott
again.
Robertson. 6th leg.
Finds
Scott Taylor
himself a
to
leg
throw
away
first.
from the
Game on.
finishing post. Don't know about you, Sam, but
91.
we often associate Scott Taylor's best darts with a form of aggression that comes with it. Not quite sure we've seen that tonight.
We certainly did at the start, but I'm not sure we saw it
86.
when he won in week 11 either. It was nowhere near. We didn't see the snarl anywhere near enough.
60.
That is when he is at his best, at his most dangerous. Off the board, he doesn't really hold that aggression. He's a very chilled out guy. On
100.
it, he's an absolute monster.
Yeah, Scott Taylor bites that bottom lip. One away as quickly as people ran away from the 70s film
83.
character The Blob. Because when he's in the mood, he can do silly things. And it doesn't matter what you do.
99.
I mean, he's beaten a player who's averaged 118 on this stage, for goodness sake. There's the quiver, there's the snarl, and there's a max to go with it.
Well, Robertson just simply hasn't been able to shake Taylor off, and he's already
58.
chomping at the bit to get back to the
Scott, you
hockey.
require 87.
Oh, he fancies it all
Game
right.
shown the 6th leg.
He fancies
Scott
it a
Taylor.
lot. And
7th
Scott
and final
Robertson,
leg. Scott Robertson
once
to
again,
throw first.
for the third
on.
time in 4 matches for him this evening, is going to a last leg decider.
Has Scott Taylor clicked into gear at the perfect time? His third time going to be
177.
lucky for Scott Robertson in last leg deciders.
100.
Oh, he's got plenty of space. Ho, ho, ho.
100.
Great effort.
Nobody has hit 2 9-darters in the same session. Mason Whitlock wired double 18 to do so for a second time.
134.
Probably his highlight moment here at the Super Series.
Either way,
100.
Robertson still can't completely shake Taylor off. Scott is on a finish after 9. He can't do much more than that.
140.
He did do more than that earlier on.
Scott, you require 124.
Taylor almost matches Robertson. This has been a group of fine margins so far. Robertson match start at the ball.
99.
And much like he did against Derek Coulson,
Scott, you
he
require
misses a match
127.
start at a 3-figure-8 to win 4-3. But this time, his opponent will not convert his chance. And Scott can now return to seal a night
38.
where he would win 2 out of the 4.
Scott, you require
What a
25.
roller coaster evening he's had. Lost his first 2 games where his opponents averaged way in excess of a ton. Hit a 9-darter to win his first Champions Week match against Neil Duff. And
Game shot,
having
and a match.
lost
Scott
his
Robertson.
first 2, Scott Robertson wins his last 2 on Thursday night. And he puts Scott Taylor in a position where he has to beat Henry Coachy Phil in the final game of the session. This the tail of the tape. Robertson averaging again in excess of 90. That's been a minimum for him tonight. He beat Scott Taylor by 4 legs to 3 to make it 2 wins out of 4 for the night for the 9-dart King.
matches to go then on the opening night of Group B, and what a night it has been. Scott Robertson getting a big win over Scott Taylor before the break there to round off his night with 2 wins out of 4. And let's not forget, he hit the magical 9 darter against Neil Duff as well. It's been a scintillating evening's action here with Coulson 3 wins out of 3. He faces Duff very shortly indeed. But for the moment, it is all about Scott Robertson, and he does join me now. Scott, you only won your week last week. What a roller coaster it has been.
Oh, it's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. To get the 9 tonight is absolutely fantastic.
You first ever won, as I understand, especially on a stage in front of the cameras, under the lights. Just talk me through it, the emotions.
I've had a few in practice. I do loads in practice, but never any 9 darts in games. And when the first 180 went in, I thought, come on, have a go. Then it 177, then it 144. Fantastic. Just dreamland. Absolute dreamland.
So when was it you thought it's on it? You just said you hit loads in practice, but it's different when it's in a competitive game, competitive scenario. When does it first cross your mind?
Because it's 144 instead of 141. It's a lot easier to hit 144 than it's to hit 141.
Well, tonight as well, you've arguably been a little bit unlucky away from the 9 darter. 2 wins out of 4, solid night's work in the Group B. Could so easily, though, have been all 4.
A wee bit unlucky against Derek. I thought I could have snatched the last game, but against Henry, I think Henry deserved to beat me. I had no complaints with Henry, but I'm happy with 2 wins, 2 loses. It keeps me right in the mix. Right in the mix.
It certainly does, and you can see on the monitor where we are. You step up for the 144. You're going to watch it back. Just talk us through it as you watch on.
You're just praying that you hit the first one, and it's absolute plumb right in the middle. Look, and the second one. Oh. Then you just hope and pray. Oh, fantastic. Chuffed to bits, honestly, chuffed to bits.
Oh, the celebration was fitting as well. Really good stuff. And it came at a real crucial time as well, because that was your 3rd game of the night off the back of those 2 narrow defeats. It was crucial.
It was really crucial. I just knew I had to beat Neil just to stay in the hunt. I had to beat Neil. The 9 darter was just superb.
Mindset going into tomorrow night then?
I think 2 wins will probably be enough. I think it will be, but depending on other results, I think 8 points puts me through.
Well, congratulations on the 9. Well done on a solid night's work as well. We will see you tomorrow. It is now back to the commentary box for the final 2 matches of the night. It's back to Matthew Edgar and Henry Deacon.
Yes, thank you, Sam. Thank you, Scott, as well. Thank you for the entertainment. Thank you for the 9. He can now depart into the Portsmouth night. I'm sure it's full of frivolous characters. And we can enjoy 2 more matches here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, where Derek Coulson is looking to run through the card. If he can get past Neil Duff, who has had an antiphasized night. 3 games, 3 defeats, and just 3 legs won for the evening. He's lost all 3 of his matches by a 4-1 scoreline, going down to Henry Coates, Scott Taylor and Scott Robertson. He was on the receiving end of Robertson's 9
First
a
leg,
few
Derek
matches
to
ago.
throw first. Game on.
Am I over-egging the pudding as such when I say that if Neil Duff wants to get to Champions Night again, he has to win this contest?
No, absolutely, you're bang on. When we've been watching Neil Duff throughout the night, we've talked about patience. When we talk about Champions Week and we're saying about players playing well, patience is a word that we have used regularly throughout the day. There is no time for patience
41.
anymore. The patience has wore too thin for Neil Duff. It is now not or never, but or extremely unlikely. The biggest problem he's got here is he's playing
43.
against one of the most established players right now without a tour card in Derek Coulson, and he's against the darts. Things are looking a little bit bleak right now for the Duff man.
190.
Well, what we did see since he's moved to the tri-flights was an uppage of performance. Averaged around 95, or just over 95 in that 4-1 defeat to Scott Robertson. Not much you could do
60.
against a man averaging 107. So the change in terms of performance has worked. It's just not changed in terms of the results.
100.
That's all you want to see sometimes. See the performance change, feel happier within yourself, feel like you're throwing the darts correctly. There's nothing worse than when you feel something's a little bit off, when you think
98.
there's something you can change.
$85.
Well, Duff here looking to strike the first blow, looking to get an early break.
140.
2 darts are left after
Nearly
12. He's
required
going to be forced
95.
to take it because Coulson's on tops. Decides to play safe. To guarantee himself a poke at the bullseye. Has to shuffle across to the right and
Then
finds a
on the
way
first
through.
leg. Neil
First
Duff.
blood, Neil Duff. The bullseye found for a breaker throw
Second leg, Neil
for the
to
7-time
Rofa.
weekly winner.
Game on.
I've talked about the negative side of this flight system. The extra spinning of the dart, the less control,
100.
the certain grip will suit this style of flight. And there was a little few questions in there. But one of the real positives, one of the real benefits is the lack of equipment that is in the way. It's easier to fill up the target, as we've just seen with Derek Coulson there. It's easier to play past the dart like we just saw with Neil Duff. If that was a standard conventional flight, the way that dart was stood up, it would have made it
30.
even trickier for Neil Duff to find that bullseye.
Early days, but if Derek Coulson carries on, then he could have been the second player to have hit a 9-darter against Neil Duff tonight.
57.
Well, this is fighting, isn't it, from Neil Duff?
140.
We talk about the weekly titles of which he's won. What that means is he's very experienced, and he's very experienced in this format. He will know the permutations. He will know what we are talking about right now. That this is a must-win game for Neil Duff.
Well, there's the bullseye from the end of the previous leg. Coulson looking to get this dusted up
64.
in 11.
Derek, you require 90.
And even when Neil's doing good stuff, the opposition are finding something just as good. 12-darter
Bench
for
on the
Coulson
second
to
leg.
break back.
Derek Coulson.
And we're on terms at 1 apiece.
Third leg, Derek to throw first.
I'll tell you
Game
one
on.
thing. Whatever happens in this game, Neil Duff's going to be out for it tomorrow. Somebody better watch out. Because we've seen it before where Neil Duff has one poor day, the next night, whenever it may
45.
be, somebody finds himself on the wrong end of something, the wrong end of a shellacking.
And let's have it right. Neil Duff's had a poor day in regards to results, but
60.
the performances have been okay. The performances have been good. It's just been a real high-quality night of action where he's just lost a couple of key moments along the way.
Well, let's reel off what his opponents have done this evening. Henry Coates
48.
with an average of 98.92, 4 for 9 in terms of the doubles. Scott Taylor 91.85, 4 from 7 on the doubles. Duff did miss 8 at the outer ring in that game. Scott Robertson, need reminding,
45.
hit the 9-darter, 107.35 average, 4 from 7 on the doubles. So effectively, everybody's been hitting everything against Neil Duff. And when I say everything, I mean everything.
Welcome to
86.
Champions Week. It's what we expect. It's what the viewers expect. And the players are delivering. We do it all again tomorrow. Group C was left on a
60.
cliffhanger, and it looks like we're going to be very similar here in Group B.
Yes, we shall reconvene in less than 10 hours' time to get going for Group C.
140.
I've enjoyed your company today, Matt. Been a long day, but it's been a fun day here at the Live Lounge.
140.
We got started at 1 o'clock in the afternoon with Group C, And as we head towards 1 o'clock in the morning now, Group B is leaving us
122.
potentially with a real cliffhanger.
Well, you build up a week like Champions Week. The players would have built it up from week 1 when the first player
140.
qualified.
Derek,
They've
you
all been
require
getting
60.
ready and preparing for it, and sometimes it doesn't deliver, but today really has. It's been a quality day of darts. It could be
on
the
third
perfect
leg.
day of darts
Derek
for
Coulson.
Derek Coulson. It was the total opposite yesterday, losing all
Fourth leg,
5.
Neil to throw first.
He's on course
Game
today
on.
for 100% in the right column. And if you can get 8 points on day 1 on a Champions Week, that surely enough. But there's that kick. That's what we're talking about with this flight system.
41.
It works for certain people. Normally people are on the extremes of the barrel, either at the front of the barrel towards the point, which means that the dart's going to travel faster to the board, it's going to travel flatter. Or people are right at the back.
125.
Neil Duff, whose thumb is sat sort of in the middle part of the barrel, that's just going to cause this system to spin. If he doesn't throw it right, that's going to cause the dart to kick.
100.
See again that last dart going in flat. Not got the complete angle of entry. He's seeing something. He must be seeing something in practice. I'm just not convinced.
58.
Well, judging by the fact he's taking it here, he was going to use it at some point. I'm going to imagine that this was probably saying he was going to test out at Double Trouble next week. I don't know that for a fact. That's just an assumption
80.
from my end. But the fact that he lost the first 2, he said, do you know what? It can't get any worse than this. I'm going to try something different. The level of performance hasn't been poor. But now you can
94.
just see the Duff man's just beginning to find a bit of red here.
Well, he's been
60.
working so hard, wasn't he, Neil Duff, in preparation for this. Ever since he won that week, he would have been eyeing this up. And he would have thought that this was the one, this was the time, this was when he was going to pick
60.
up that series title. And it could all be over on day 1 in regards to any realistic hope.
Well, this really is the El Clasico of Super
60.
Series darts.
Derek, you require 164.
But at the minute, Neil Duff is finding himself chasing Derek Coulson.
82.
Now, DC
Neil,
got
you
hit by
require
a big
160
160 yesterday from Henry Coates. Is he going to be hit by another? Not on this occasion. So Coulson will return for 82 to break the throw and lead 3-1.
82. Derek, you require 82.
'18 corridor. Back to the bullseye. The first attempt at the bullseye was very wayward. That was
57.
closer, but not close enough. Neil
Neil,
Duff.
you require 78.
Is it time to say last chance saloon? We're certainly getting there. Keeps that one completely out of the way
James
of
on the
tops and
fourth leg.
finds it with
Neil
the
Duff.
last dart.
Fifth
An
leg,
act of
Derek to
defiance,
throw
an act of
first.
class
Game
from
on.
Neil Duff to keep himself not just in this game, but in this group. This is a key clash. For Derek Coulson, he's already got 6 points. He'd have been happy with that
100.
before a dart was thrown. He's playing for free here. The pressure is firmly on this man's shoulders.
Well, he's scrapping away as you would
82.
expect him to. One thing he's got is heart, desire, spirit. And that will never be epitomised more than his World Championship quarter-final against Jim
93.
McEwen in 2022, where McEwen had 12-3-1. He looked like the victor. But then Duff would reel off 3 consecutive sets, and it felt like that was the moment
100.
that sparked him into life in that tournament. That was the moment that kicked him on to win that World Championship title, which is the highlight of his career. And as much as that's been the highlight, it feels like this
126.
competition has been the one that's defined his career. And he wants to finally say that he is the ultimate champ.
137.
If he can just win one tonight, He's got work to do. Of course he does. Going into the Friday night session here, but he'll just give himself an outside glimmer if he can
42.
kick on.
$134.
Superb.
Derek, you require 140.
Absolutely superb there for Neil Duff to give himself an opportunity should Derek Coulson not take the 140. We've seen Neil Duff in these sort of situations already this evening where he hasn't cashed in.
100.
As we mentioned
Neil, you
earlier on, the
require
time for
48.
patience is gone. It has to be now.
Now is the time to make things right.
28.
But Tots goes a begging. He pulls the
Derek,
last.
you require 40.
And so Coulson looks at the same target
Aim
to
shot on
get
the
his
fifth
nose
leg.
in front 3-2.
Derek Coulson.
And that right there is the difference between a
Sixth leg, Neil
regulation
to
week and
throw
Champions Week.
first. Game on.
On a regulation week, you might be able to get away with those sort of misses every now and then. Not here. Not this week. This week, you have got to cash in on all those sort of chances. I said earlier on,
60.
and I'll stand by it throughout the entirety of these groups. These games will be won and lost on those small combinations. The occasional leg will change on a 148 or 150 checkout. But it's those
85.
50s, 60s, 70s. Those two dart combos, that's the difference here.
$96.
Derek Coulson wins this leg as well. He's going to just get a bit of breathing space at the top.
85.
On 8 points. Henry Coates can potentially move on to 6 if he gets the better of Scott Taylor in the last.
60.
If you're Neil Duff in an ideal world, he'll want to get a win here and possibly we'll be looking at Scott Taylor to get the better of Henry Coates because everybody then will be left on 4 points with the exception of Coulson.
I mean, getting the win here is essential, isn't it? But just looking at the demeanour of Neil Duff right now, looks like a guy who's thrown his punches already.
45.
It's almost like the frustration starting to kick in, accepting his fate now. And that fate could be delivered very quickly here because Derek Coulson has broken the throat.
120.
And despite having a dart on the floor, still comes away with 120 points. When it's not going right for you, you tend to notice moments like that. Dart's just thrown the frustration at the moment for Neil Duff. It's not been his evening. It could be 4 straight defeats in just 2 good darts time.
Tops to compound the misery for Duff.
91. Neil, you require 140.
He's got to show every single ounce of his fortitude here, but he's unable to find the 140. Well,
43.
yesterday was an unprecedented day
Derek, you require
for
20.
Derek Coulson. He lost all 5 of his matches in Group A. But his response is to run the card on Thursday night and to put himself in pole position to progress through to yet another Champions Night. But for Neil Duff, this has been a night to forget. 4 games, 4 defeats. He has it all to do. He doesn't just have a mountain, he has an Everest to climb tomorrow night. But for Derek Coulson, he can almost taste another Champions Night. He'll probably need 1 win tomorrow to do it. He's beaten Neil Duff 4-2 to complete the card.
What a night it has been, and we've still got one more match to go on the opening session of Group B here in Champions Week. Derek Coulson, what a response. A nightmare day yesterday on the final day of Group A has come out swinging tonight in Group B. 4 wins out of 4, but it wasn't easy. Scott Robertson and Henry Coates have caught the eye tonight. Coates still has a game to play. Robertson, the 9-dart hero, good value for his 2 wins. Could have been more. And Neil Duff, a nightmare day for the winning most player to ever grace this stage. 0 points. He's got it all to do tomorrow night. But it is all about Derek Coulson now, and Derek does join me in the studio. Derek, well played tonight, but let's start with the elephant in the room. Yesterday, what went wrong?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. There was just nothing happening. I missed a lot of doubles. I think my double stats were shocking. I did give myself some chance. I think I lost 3 games, 4-3.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, I never felt comfortable all day. I mean, when Henry took the 160 out in the first game, I think I was sitting on 58. Maybe that would have settled me down if I'd hit that and he'd missed, or he'd missed and I'd hit that. But after that, I was really struggling, and I wasn't thinking about I need this number of wins. There was just nothing happening. I was throwing a dart, thinking I couldn't reach a treble. I was low so often, and I just tried too hard, and I was trying to force darts in, and nothing was happening. And in the end, I think I was lucky to lose 5 games, to be honest.
That's in the past, though, now. It's all about the here and now, and a fantastic response after a bit of rest and recuperation. Probably done you a bit of good as well. You didn't wind up in Group C.
Yeah.
4 wins out of 4 tonight. Talk me through them. It started with a really hard-fought win.
Yeah, I mean, I knew Scott being in this group. I played a week with him before, and he's such a solid player. And he's proved it tonight just how good he is. looking back now, I was like, wow, I'm so glad I won that game because Scott was just phenomenal tonight. But yeah, I had a bit of luck. Other than Scott, nobody really played their game against me. So I had a bit of fortune tonight. Most of the legs of doubles went. There was a few legs where I missed a few doubles. But overall, I'm happy enough. I mean, to get 8 points in this group, yeah, I'm chuffed a bit.
Yeah, you've done all the hard work really tonight, and knowing now, as you well know, of course we're used to you just going and winning Group A's, but you're no stranger to a Group B here and there as well. You know fully well what it takes to get out of it. 8 points on night one. You know full well you only need 1 or 2 going into tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, 8 points on the first day anybody would take that. I'd have taken 6 points, to be honest. At the start of the day, I'd have taken 6 points. But, taking 8 tonight and then looking at the quality that's in there, those guys will turn up tomorrow and they'll be fighting tomorrow. So I've got to be on it tomorrow.
So there's no thoughts about Saturday yet? You know full well there's still a job to do?
No, Saturday's irrelevant at the moment. Every game I go into, I just want to win that game of darts. So, it's going to be tough. I'll be against the darts against Neil first game tomorrow. He'll be raring to pick up some wins. He's been unfortunate today. He's missed doubles. That's all that's cost him today. He's missed doubles. So, and hopefully the last game against Scott, I'm kind of hoping he's already through. But yeah, he's been amazing. I'm so impressed with the way he's played tonight.
Well, it's all about you tonight, and Scott Robertson as well with the 9 darter, but very well played. 4 wins out of 4, superb. We will see you tomorrow night. It is time to get the final match of the night underway. It's Scott Taylor against Henry Coates, and it's back to the commentary box with Matthew Edgar and Henry Deacon.
Thank you, Sam, and thank you, Derek, as well. Perfect night for DC. 4 wins out of 4, and he is to within touching distance now of yet another Champions Night here at the Super Series. Coates and Taylor bring the night's action to a curtain close. For Henry Coates, if he wins this, he will move on to 6 points, and we would have uniformity in terms of the league standings. If Scott Taylor wins this contest,
First leg, Scott to
then
throw
we will
first.
have Derek
Game
Coulson
on.
on 8 points, Scott Robertson, Henry Coates and Scott Taylor on 4, and Neil Duff without a win to his name.
125.
And hopefully, Matthew Edgar, we are going to be treated to a cracker.
Well, it's got all the ingredients, hasn't it? It's got everything you need to be a
100.
cracking game, this one. Henry Coates has been mightily impressive, not just today, but throughout his campaign. To even be here in Group B from the position he found himself
134.
going into play in Wednesday just shows the character, the quality and the ceiling that Henry Coates could have within this
100.
sport. Fully expect to see him in the next couple of years with a tour card. Challenging for those top 64 positions would be the first
134.
challenge.
Which is a challenge which many players that we thought would have relative success have struggled
57.
in doing so.
Scott, you require
You could even win
108.
Pro Tours and struggle to keep your cards. Just ask Bradley Brooks. He's in a bit of a fight to keep a hold of his tour privileges.
Radak
41.
Skagansky, another one. Sounds easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it.
140.
Well, Taylor
Scott, you
looking for
require
a 6-7. Tops.
47.
You might
Henry,
be
you
in 6s
require
and 7s in a minute.
104.
Well, these were the sort of shots that Henry Coates was taking out for fun yesterday.
64.
Both him and Archie Self.
Scott, you
Great
require
campaign
20.
earlier on, been so successful on those low tons. But Scott Taylor just taking a moment. That's a tactic that hasn't worked for him until
Aim shot on
now,
the
but
first
that
leg.
one smack
Scott
bang in
Taylor.
the middle of the double.
Second leg, Henry
Puff
to
of the
throw
cheeks, a bit of
first.
relief
Game on.
there maybe for Scott Taylor, who, if he's been watching the monitors and watching the screens, would probably have thought that was going there for Henry
90.
Coates.
Where are you in terms of Scott Taylor's night? What would be your kind of synopsis as to what you see? Got off to a really good start against Neil Duff, 141,
100.
average in excess of 90, but since then, we've not really seen him fire on the types of cylinders that we've come to expect from him.
140.
We see moments, don't we? But I think the problem with Scott Taylor at the moment is just the consistency of the performance
81.
and the gaps between the performances as well. Sometimes he'll have a good game, then an off one, then a good one. He knows
98.
he's won the Super Series before in Series 6. This is all about consistency. No point winning one game with a 95 and losing the next with an 80. That means you've got a chance of winning one and probably no chance of winning the other.
85.
If he can get the victory here, though, ending the night on 4 points, he would jump above Henry Coates in the legs column as well.
92.
There's a chance he could end up finishing second in the table, depending on the scoreline.
140.
That would be a good night.
Henry require 81.
Which kind of tells you it all pins on what we're watching right here, right now.
41.
The dart at tops
Scott,
in the
you
opening
require
leg, a dart at
95.
tops in the second here. Might be all Henry Coates gets.
Game show on the second leg.
Well,
Scott
Taylor gets tops and he gets himself 2-0 in front.
Third leg, Scott to Thoreau first.
31
Game
darts
on.
to get himself to what he hopes is the halfway point.
Well, didn't you ask moments ago, Henry, where's the
93.
snarl, where's the fire? It's right there. Scott Taylor's bringing it.
In the words of Delia Smith, where are you? Let's be having you.
177.
Come on, Scott Taylor.
$123.
What's Henry Coates up to here?
140.
What he's doing is he's once again digging deep, Henry. Once again fighting hard.
180.
But he's running into a performance here from Scott Taylor. Taylor averaging around about the 105 mark here, which is ironic because that's what he wants here for a 3-0 lead.
64. Scott, you require 105.
25 tops.
45.
Unable to get.
Henry require 120.
I get it's the percentage shot, but that's why I don't like it. Henry moving around the oche here to find a way past. What a dart.
Henry Coates.
What a shot that is.
Fourth leg, Henry
First
to
dart
Thoreau
sat in the treble
first.
20, sat
Game
up.
on.
It was awkward. It could have hit the flight and carried into the treble. He had to move around it. That made it even more tricky. He had to throw that dart pretty much sideways
57.
across. He would have thrown it from about 8'2". What a dart under that type of pressure.
137.
Just manages to nestle away into the top right-hand corner.
But did you note the angle there,
100.
Henry? Every dart laying further and further with a flight to the left. Just to symbolise how hard that shot was. and the quality
125.
and the timing there of Henry Coates. That being said, that breaker throw may not last long.
60.
Is that good? We're going to show it again.
Look at the angle. Tells you everything you need to know.
180.
Now, a lesser player would have gone down to the 19s there, not Scott Taylor. He fancied it. He liked it. He liked how they were sat. He's got the rhythm. He's got the flow. Smacks in the
93.
maximum.
Scott, you require
And what
59.
a response here. It was a 12-dart break from Henry Coates in the last. Taylor looking to return in kind and
Game shot on the
does.
fourth
Once
leg.
again,
Scott
smack
Taylor.
bang in the middle of that double 10. He is feeling good.
Fifth leg, Scott to Thoreau first. Game on.
Well, it's fair to say that as the night draws to a close, the blue touch paper has been lit. It was a touch paper that
45.
Coates lit first because he was first out to bat. An 11-dart leg in the opening leg of the evening.
100.
And as the evening's action draws to a close, we are seeing these two really leave
99.
it out there.
It's one of those where you look at the end of the night and you go,
121.
Henry Coates 3-1 down to Scott Taylor. Has his levels dropped? No. Henry Coates is playing well. Look at that. Just shy of 98 the average. This is a good
45.
performance. It's just been an inspired one here for Taylor, but after breaking the throw and giving himself a bit of cushion here, Scott Taylor
93.
might be about to hand it straight back. We could be going for another break here.
Got to say, Matt, it's nice to finally see somebody by the name of Henry do a good job here at the Super Series.
145.
The silence and non-reaction to that comment has been noted.
97. Scott, you require 167. $102. Henry, you require
this
90.
could well be all she wrote, unless Coates can find the ball.
65.
He gave it every
Scott, you
chance, but
require
it just drops
65.
low. So this to wrap it up for Scott Taylor to get win number 2 of the night. Double
Game
14s
shot
there.
and a match.
And the
Scott
former
Taylor.
champ puts himself right in the mix to return to Champions Night again. Scott Taylor wraps the night up with a ton-plus average and a 4-1 victory over Henry Coates. Everything about that performance was superb. Average over a ton, 4 from 6 in terms of the finishing. Taylor prevails by 4 legs to 1. He finds himself second in the table overnight, but it's Derek Coulson who leads the way. 8 points following night 1. Let's head over to the studio for some analysis now with Matt and Sam.
Henry, thank you. Great job, as ever, good sir. And what a night it has been in Group B. Scott Robertson hitting perfection in that 4-1 win to seal the win over Neil Duff, who has ran through the card the wrong way, unfortunately, for the Duffman. No win for him. He has a tall mountain to climb tomorrow. But Derek Coulson bouncing back after his nightmare day yesterday. He is 4 wins out of 4, putting himself in real good stead going into the final session before Champions Night here in Series 14. Coulson has it, but Scott Taylor now edges ahead of his namesake, Mr. Robertson, and Henry Coates as well, all on 4 points. It really is all to play for going into tomorrow. Matthew Edgar, what did we say at the start of the night? Tight, close, down to the wire. Yep, tick.
Yep, and I also said cliffhanger. I said that's how it's going to be left. And absolutely, there are 3 players on 4 points. Neil Duff, the only one without points right now. If someone's going to claw that back, you'd put Neil Duff in that category of people. He's going to be dangerous tomorrow. So all to play for, and what a night. We've had everything.
A desperate Neil Duff will be a very, very dangerous Neil Duff. But let's start with Derek. We spoke about how things can snowball, and yesterday, if Henry Coates didn't take out that 160 to beat Derek, I fully expect Derek to go on and win Group A. But it snowballed, it spiralled, he's come back fighting, and it has to be admired.
It shouldn't be that way, should it? But we often find it is. And, you know, a game of darts should be a lot of individual moments that all collaborate into one match, into different moments. But what we tend to find is if something doesn't work, if something goes against us, if something breaks our concentration, that actually it snowballs, as you say. It can spiral. Would it have changed anything? We don't quite know. But I did say at the start of tonight, for Derek Coulson, that first game has to go right. And it did. It went so right. An average of 105. He was in a battle. That's important as well. The last thing you want to do, well, of course, you want to go up there and win 4-0. But if you go up there and win 4-0 and it's a bit of a breeze and it's all just... Does that really give you that confidence, that really rectify that situation? And it snowballed the right way tonight for Derek Coulson. He was excellent and he's got 1 foot in finals night. He played like the favourite.
He really did. And he survived a match start against Robertson. He was 2-0 down. Henry was threatening to write him off, which is dangerous. But like you say, it snowballed the other way tonight for Derek. But Scott Robertson, it's sort of his night as well. His first ever 9-darter in front of the cameras. What an achievement. What a shot. It was absolutely incredible.
I think we undersell it when we say it's been Scott Robertson's night. Because it's actually been Scott Robertson's week and a bit, really, hasn't it? He's only just got his position here, winning a weekly title for the first time. Must have came here so full of confidence. And what was so impressive about Scott Robinson was how he responded. Because those first couple of games, he played exceptional darts. He played really, really good, mid-90 averages, and came up the wrong side in tight matches. It'd be so easy for him to go into the back room, sort of curse his luck a little bit, and almost just be like, well, Champions Week's a little bit hot for me at the moment. Maybe I'm not ready for this stage. Never once did Scott Robertson doubt himself. Never once did it look like he wasn't going to continue to produce. He told himself, if I keep playing like this, I'm going to start getting results. And they came. And not only did they came, but they came in the most amazing fashion ever, with his first ever 9-darter on Champions Week as well. That's a moment that's going to live with him forever.
A wonderful celebration as well. It was also Andrew Culling's first ever 9-darter to call as well. Fantastic job, but a second 9-darter in this building in less than a week. Robertson felt as though he should have beaten Derek, but it didn't snowball for him. And he's shown tremendous quality. And he's alongside Henry Coates and Scott Taylor. And you just never really know what you're going to get with Taylor, because he can be anything from 110 average down to a 70 odd. That's what we saw from him en route to winning his week.
Well, what did we just say? 100 average for Scott Taylor, going up against Henry Coates, who once again has been one of the performers of the day. Very dangerous young man. And Scott Taylor's gone up there and he's served the game to him. Henry Coates was running at the high 90s for the majority of the match, and it felt like he was clinging on and looking for opportunities. It felt like he was getting chances, but at 104s and those sort of long-range finishers. Never really was comfortable with 3 darts in his hand. And that's what Scott Taylor's capable of. And he really did produce it there. And what will be frustrating for Scott Taylor is, why did he do it there, but he didn't do it in game 3, or he didn't do it in game 2? What he'll be saying to himself, why can't I do this on a consistent basis? He's clearly got the ability, but there's just something at the moment that's not allowing that ability to come through on a regular basis. Scott Taylor's ability should be on the professional circuit, but he's not there for a reason, and that's something he's got to figure out quick. He said his application, his dedication isn't always there. If you've got the ability of Scott Taylor, surely you'll get inspired, especially when you're here for £25,000. If that doesn't get you going, what will?
He's done it before. He could do it again. Henry Coates also on 4 points. How would you assess him?
I think he'll be getting a lot of fans this week. He plays the game so well, doesn't he? He plays the game very traditionally. Head down, get on with things, very respectful to his opponents. There'll be a lot of people watching Henry this week and going, he plays the game the way I like. He'll be very endearing to a lot of people. And not only that, he's very good at it. And he's demonstrated that so many times this week. Clutch finishing. He's got bottle. He's got character. I expect to see him on Saturday night. I would not be shocked if he picks up that trophy.
Tomorrow is going to be a very memorable day. It starts at 1 o'clock with the culmination of Group C. And there's going to be a big name or two that doesn't even make Champions Night.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, David Evans, multiple-time weekly winner, looks pretty much out of it. Same for Alex Small. He can get to 10 points, but the likelihood is that's not going to be enough. I think it's a 4-way battle tomorrow. Michael Huntley's done so well to put himself in contention. I hope he holds his nerve tomorrow. We've seen in the past where he sort of struggles on these sort of decision days. He's just got to go up there and play exactly like he did today. But although there's 4 in the running, I think we're going to see a battle and a 3-way battle for those 2 positions. I don't see anyone running away with this. It looked like Archie Self had a chance to do so today, but was pegged back at the end by Jack Aldridge. Making a prediction, I think Archie Self goes through.
And just very quickly on Group B, more often than not, 8 points is enough. Is it going to be enough tomorrow?
Neil Duff will decide that. It won't be decided by everybody else. They will all beat each other. It'll be decided by Neil Duff. If Neil Duff starts to pick up a couple of wins, it's who he gets those against. Neil Duff's the joker in the pack. He's the wild card tomorrow.
Fantastic day. Thank you for your company. We will see you again tomorrow, but there is still plenty more to come if you fancy an even later night here this evening on a real memorable day at the Live Lounge. We've got a Tungsten Talk with the Duff Man coming up after the break, and then 1 o'clock for the culmination of Group C. 10 p.m. we are back for the final session, Group B, before we head on to Champions Night. It's an earlier start time, all the big build-up, live and free on Pluto TV from 7 p.m. Tickets are still available, quite unbelievably. Get them whilst you can. And the 5th instalment of Double Trouble, it returns next week. Simon Whitlock in the mix, as well as the Duff Man, 9:30 Monday morning. It is going to be a lot of fun. An incredible day here at the Live Lounge. A 9-darter, big finishes, big scoring, and there's going to be some big names that aren't even going to make Champions Night. Find out who will make it from 1 p.m. Friday afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon, make sure you join us and we will see you there. A very good night to you.
Michael Huntley!
Henry Coe, Ashley Coleman,
David Evans,
Derek Coulson, Alex Small, Jack Twin.